All right, y'all, we back. Yeah, buddy. Let's go ahead and get this going. We starting a little late today, so we probably gonna do about a 3-4 hour camp. Ain't gonna be much longer than that. All right. Right. We're still good. We're still good. We're good. All right. Bam. All right. Cool. All right. I'd like to start off by saying, Call Halal, Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. My name is Haya El. I'm back on the San Antonio River Walk with yet another lesson. And for those of y'all who watch my videos, yes, there's a little uniform change. My affiliation with a certain group has, it's tenuous at best, or non-existent probably going forward, but we'll see. But we're back to give another lesson on the River Walk, right? And the lesson today is going to be basically, how are you as an Israelite going to survive what's coming, right? Because blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, there's a lot coming down the pipe, right? You've got World War III basically right about to happen, if not already underway. You've got the draft officially being put into motion by the current sitting president, President Biden. You've got a lot of things starting to move around and shape around this thing, right? And the question is swiftly becoming, how are you as an Israelite going to make it? Because I'm going to tell you, in times to come, that question is going to be a major one. And most people have not thought how to answer that question. But we're going to give some scripture today that goes in a little bit about that. Right? But let's go ahead and get started. We're going to go ahead and get started in Revelation 3 and 11 through 12. Right? Because we have to be aware that our Messiah is not only aware of our predicament, but he requires us to endure unto the end. But what are we enduring? Right? We're going to endure horrors this world has never seen before. Right? And we're going to endure horrors that this world has seen plenty of times, except for never as acute and severe as it's going to be in the times to come. Right? Get where I'm going. We'll get both. This is Revelations, chapter 3 and verse 9. Behold, I will make them of the synagogue of Satan, which say they are Jews and are not, but do lie. Behold, I will make them to come and to worship before thy feet, and to know that I have loved thee. So one of the things that's going to happen at the end of all this is that our enemies, our paramount enemy especially, the so-called Jewish man who proclaims himself to be a Jew but is not, and is of the synagogue of Satan. But all of our enemies are going to come, and they are going to bow themselves at the feet of the real Israelites once their kingdom is established. That is one thing that is going to happen, whether we be the real Jews or not, whether they be the real Jews or not, whoever the real children of God are, they are going to receive the I don't want to say the worship, because you have two terms in the Greek, latreia and proskuneo, right? One you do to the Most High God only, and one you do to a Lord or a master or someone appointed over you, right? But we are going to receive the adulations and the actual fealty as servants of those who say they are Jews and are not, and all of their cohorts that help them to oppress us and to keep us in a low state. They are going to bow themselves at our feet, and they are going to give us the riches of this earth, right? But there's something else that has to happen, right, in order to receive that. And Yahushua himself, who's saying these words here in Revelation 3 and 9, goes on something or implies something that is required in order to be made a standing member of the body of Israel forever, right? This is Revelations 3:10. Because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world, to try them that dwell upon the earth. So we have to keep the word of his patience. And that word is enduring, standing steadfast, and maintaining our course of keeping the commandments and our allegiance to our God. Why? Because we were commanded to. That's part of the covenant that we made with the Most High God while we were in the wilderness. To serve him and to keep his commandments with all of our mind, soul, and strength. Right? As it says in Deuteronomy 6. Right? But let's go back to Revelations 2 and 9, because it says something else. Right? This is Revelations 2 and 9. I know thy works in tribulation, in poverty, but thou art rich. And I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews, and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan. For behold, of those things which thou shalt suffer, or fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Salah. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison, that ye may be tried. And ye shall have tribulation 10 days. Be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life. Hey, you a king walking the earth. Alright? Special. Right? Blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians, you the real Israelites. And you the real nobility around you. But with that being said, verse 10 goes into something very particular. And it talks about the things that we are going to have to suffer. And Yahushua went more in depth in the book of Matthew chapter 24. When he gave the prophecy of the fall of Jerusalem and the manifold prophecy of basically wars, rumors of wars, and all types of things indicating the very end. Right? But he spoke of us being cast into prison. He spoke about us being put to death in the line of duty, in the line of servicing our God. Right? Because there is a time that is coming upon the earth, and we see it manifesting before our very eyes. We see legislation being passed to ban the Bible. We see actions being taken by the people to start to destroy the Bible, especially up in states like Vermont and up in the northeast of the United States. And not just here in the United States, all over the earth. There are nations that are casting out their idols and burning religious books, including the Bible. I know I heard about India a number of months ago, right? But you see it manifesting before our eyes, right? Currently in Israel today, it is literally illegal to preach Christ, right? It's starting to become a taboo to preach of a Messiah, right? So we see all of these prophecies starting to come to fruition. With that being said, let's get into this lesson, because we need to come to understand and come to grips with what we are going to endure as children of the Most High God, as adherents to the laws of God. Because I'm going to tell you, if you call yourself following the laws of God, you are going to have to show more grit, more determination, and more fortitude than any other time in your life, because this is the final test. But let's go ahead and go to 2nd Ezra 6 and 18 and 25. Because the violent end of this kingdom is upon us. Right? And that violence is going to take hold of the whole earth. This is 2nd Ezra, chapter 6 and verse 18. And it said, Behold, the days come, that I will begin to draw nigh, and to visit them that dwell upon the earth, and will begin to make inquisition of them, what they be that have heard unjustly with their unrighteousness, and when the affliction of Zion shall be fulfilled. Now, part of the visitation is going to be upon the heathen, those that have heard unjustly, those that have afflicted Zion. That would be who you would call the so-called white man, who you would call the so-called East Indian man, Arab man, African man, etc., right? Asian man, whether it be Moab or Ammon, right? Part of the visitation is going to be the arrival of our Messiah to judge the heathen. But that judgment goes further than just the heathen. It extends also to, of course, God's people, the nation of Zion. Verse 20. And when the world that shall begin to vanish away shall be finished, then will I show these tokens. The book shall be opened before the firmament, and they shall see all together. And the children of a year old shall speak with their voices. The women with child shall bring forth untimely children of 3 or 4 months, and they shall live and be raised up. And suddenly the sown places shall appear unsown, and the full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty. And we're seeing that begin to happen. The storehouses are beginning to be found empty. Now, part of it is because this devil here in America and throughout the Western Empire, or so-called white man's empire, he's purposely destroying his food stores. He's destroying all types of livestock, whether it be cattle or different types of fowls like chickens, right? Or all types of various forms of hens and chickens, roosters, whatever. Deer, bison. He is making a point to destroy the so-called kosher food, the food that is lawful for you to eat, so that you will have no choice but to eat what they give you. Abominable foods like so-called meat reconstituted from feces, flour made from crickets or mealworms, all detestable and abominable in the eyes of the Most High God. This devil is starting to make his move, right? And this is going to be a trial that comes upon everybody on the earth, right? And as a result of these trials manifesting, we're seeing the storehouses of these nations be found empty. And also due to these ravaging heat waves and these violent storms that are destroying crops all over the earth. Because see, crop failure is not just happening here in America and then throughout in the West, it's happening throughout the world, right? So the storehouses of all these nations are being found empty. All of these things that Yahushua preached about in Matthew 24 come to pass. The wars, the rumors of wars, the tempests, the earthquakes in diverse places. But let's keep going. Verse 23, and the trumpet shall give a sound, which when every man heareth, they shall be suddenly afraid. And that trumpet's going to be an alarm, right? An alarm indicating an attack or war. Now, one of the things that America has to worry about right now is retaliation from Russia. Because Ukraine launched missiles into Russia and successfully struck targets and killed Russian people, children at that. Vladimir Putin and his government have promised that America is going to get it back in blood. But they didn't say when. So now it's a proverbial missile hanging over the head of Babylon. Right? So now men are suddenly afraid. And when those alarms begin to go off, how much more so? Right? Verse 24, at that time shall friends fight one against another like enemies, and the earth shall stand in fear with those that dwell therein. The springs of the fountain shall stand still, and in 3 hours they shall not run. So when people realize that, hey, you got to go off to war with this draft, as I said earlier, you have the draft from 18 to 26 being enacted, and you already know, based on World War II, they're going to raise that age limit up to at least 69 to 70 years of age, if not older. Right? So men are going to be fighting against one another like enemies, fighting to not go to war, fighting for the last vestiges of food, fighting for the last vestiges of safety and shelter and security. All of these things are going to be going on simultaneously. It's quite the time to be alive, but it's also quite the time to be tested. Right? Verse 25, whosoever remaineth from all these that I have told thee shall escape and see my salvation in the end of your world. And that's where we're going to stop right now in 2nd Ezra. I believe, chapter 6, right? Because we got a lot more to cover in 2nd Ezra. We're going to be going in and out of various chapters, because that's one thing Ezra did. He had a lot of visions and prophecies of the end times. So it's only right and it's only meet that we come and we reference this knowledge, this prophetic knowledge that is in the books of 2nd Ezra, right? Or the chapters of 2nd Ezra, right? But with that being said, we're going to go ahead and we're going to roll over to Amos 5 and 18 through 20, because many people count themselves being ready for the days of visitation. And many of these people count themselves worthy of the days of visitation are the heathen. And this is what I have to say to the wicked and to those who are not of the seed of Jacob. This is Amos 5 and 18. Woe unto you that desire the day of the Lord. To what end is it for you? The day of the Lord is darkness and not light. So the day of the Lord is not going to be pleasant. The day of the Lord is going to bring a lot of death to this planet. There are going to be a lot of people before that day even arrives who have lost hope, because this world is going to descend into pandemonium, and it's going to seem like there is no hope whatsoever. But to those of us who hold true to our faith, we know that our hope is in our Messiah, Yahushua, returning and setting everything right. Verse 19, as if a man did flee from a lion, and a bear met him, or went into the house, and leaned his hand on the wall, and a serpent bit him. Shall not the day of the Lord be darkness and not light, even very dark, and no brightness in it? And this is to further embellish what has already been plainly stated. The day of the Lord is going to bring a lot of death and misfortune. And it's going to be very difficult for many people to even conceptualize that there is hope in that day. Right? Brother Manawashi, go heading out somewhere. I don't know where you're going. But, see, in chapter 19, the hazards are going to be manifold and many and varied. It's going to be like meeting a lion, only to escape the lion to meet a bear, only to get into a house to escape the bear and the lion, and you lean your hand up on a wall and a snake bites you. And that's how you die. So in other words, it's going to be hurdle after hurdle after hurdle after hurdle. And it's going to seem like there's no way out. But to those who trust in the Lord, and to those that the Most High God has selected to be shown mercy and to inherit the kingdom as the first fruits, they're going to make it through just fine. Right? But let's keep going. Let's go to Isaiah 65 and 1 through 6. Because we need to understand the days that are coming upon the earth, it's not solely to judge the heathen. Part of the reason why these days are coming upon the earth is a judgment for the Israelites. Because we have a lot of wicked Israelites amongst our people. Right? And they've been separated from their God by their iniquities. Let's go ahead and read it. This is Isaiah 65 and 1. I am sought of them that ask not for me. I am found of them that sought me not. I said, behold me, behold, unto a nation that was not called by my name. I have spread out my hands all the day long unto a rebellious people, which walketh in a way that was not good after their own thoughts. A people that provoketh me to anger continually to my face, that sacrificeth in gardens, and burneth incense upon altars of brick. This is talking about us, the Israelites, who seem to go out of our way to worship other gods, to eat swine's flesh, to wear mixed fabrics, to commit adultery, to hate one another, and to love our oppressors. This is talking about the most stubborn and stiff-necked people on the planet, the children of Yasharah. And the Most High God, through his prophet Isaiah, is letting it be known that he is aware of who we are, and he is aware of our transgressions, and he is giving us the lowdown on what our transgressions have netted us. And that is separation from our God. Separation from our God, so that when tribulation finds us, his face is turned away from us, and our enemies overcome us. Our transgressions have seen to it that we enemies unified because we fall up under the curses of Deuteronomy 28. One of those curses, going before our enemies one way and fleeing seven. See, these are the things that have come upon the children of Israel because of our continual sins and transgressions. Right? Verse 4, which remain among the graves, and lodge in the monuments, which eat swine's flesh, and broth of abominable things is in their vessels, which say, stand by thyself, come not near to me, for I am holier than thou. These are a smoke in my nose, a fire that burneth all the day. So the Most High God is irritated at our constant infractions toward his laws, the very same laws we agreed to keep. These are an irritation to the Most High God. And as a result, we've provoked him to anger. And he has bestowed his wrath upon us for correction, but also, in some cases, to our demise. Because many of us have died as a result of these curses, whether it be botches and sicknesses and sores that cannot be healed, or our enemies killing us while our lives hang in doubt day and night, right? While we are in a strange land serving other gods. These curses have literally resulted in many Israelites dying before their time, so to speak. Because the full life, according to the Bible, is 70 years. Anything more than that, that's a blessing from the Most High God, depending on the circumstances, right? Because you could be gifted long life, and that'd be a curse unto you as well. But let's move on. Right? So we're going to go ahead and go to Amos 9 and 9 through 10. Because we got to understand there is a very distinctive fate for those who do not turn back and keep God's laws. Right? See, the Most High God let it be known in Ezekiel 9, but he also let it be known throughout the Bible. Right? I got my new Bible over there. It's just not marked up enough yet. This is Amos 9 and 9. For lo, I will command, and I will sift the house of Israel among all nations, like as corn is sifted in a sieve. Yet shall not the least grain fall upon the earth. So this is talking about the Israelites. The Most High God hasn't lost track of any of his people, from the greatest of us unto the least of us. And he is going to sift the house of Israel. Now, the next verse is going to tell you more or less who he's looking for. Because a very distinctive type of person is going to be eliminated. So that means whoever is remaining or left over, that's who's being preserved. Right? Verse 10, all the sinners of my people shall die by the sword, which say, that evil shall not overtake, nor prevent us. So those of the Israelite stock who are not taking heed to the Most High God's warnings, who are not returning unto him and repenting, the Most High God is going to sift them out of the numbers of Israel. In other words, he's going to kill them, or see to it that they do not survive the perils and tribulations that are coming upon the earth. Now, everybody's going to be raised up for the second judgment. But you best believe that when famine comes, when sedition among men comes, when war comes, when all of these disasters and calamities come upon the earth, which are precursors and harbinger of the end times, you best believe that those who are wicked are not going to survive them. And if they do survive them, they're not going to survive them in the ideal state where they're going to be thankful for being preserved. Right? Now, I just want to grab the next two verses because if you see the sinners of the Most High God's people die by the sword, and then the Most High God raises up the tabernacle of David, or basically restores the Israelites, and that means those who are still here get to enjoy that. Let's go ahead and read about it. This is Amos 9 and 11. In that day will I rise up the tabernacle of David that is fallen, and close up the breaches thereof, and I will raise up his ruins, and I will build it as in the days of old, that they may possess the remnant of Edom, and and of all the heathen, which are called by my name, saith Yahweh that doeth this. So the Most High God is going to restore Israel, right? He's going to restore our people beyond what they were at their height under kings like King David and King Solomon when Israel was unified. We are going to be restored and glorified beyond anything we could possibly imagine. But to those who are not found worthy to receive such a restoration and a kingdom, they will not see it the first time round. Right? When I say the first time round, I might as well grab it now. We're going to go to Revelations 19. This is Revelations, chapter 20 and verse 4. And I saw thrones, and they sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them. And I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Yahushua. You got time for the Bible, sister? A couple minutes? Shame. And I saw thrones, and they sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them. And I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Jesus, and for the word of God, and which had not worshipped the beast, neither his image, neither had received his mark upon their foreheads or in their hands. And they lived and reigned with Christ 1,000 years. But the rest of the dead lived not again until the 1,000 years were finished. This is the first resurrection. Blessed and holy is he that hath part in the first resurrection. On such the second death hath no power, but they shall be priests of God and of Yahushua, and shall reign with him 1,000 years. So those of the elect who are found worthy to receive the kingdom of heaven on the first time round, that's the first fruits. And I count myself amongst the hopeful elect. I dare not count myself as the elect. But should I be part of that number, we would reign with Yahushua for 1,000 years. Take a time out. For 1,000 years, for a day, according to the Most High God. 1,000 years, they're going to have to wait. Rest. Then they'll be reborn into the kingdom. But that time, of that 1,000 years, being able to see the restoration and the rebirth of Israel, that will be a time worthy of legend. A time that any Israelite who calls themselves an adherent to the words of God would certainly want to see. Right? Got time for the Bible today?
Sorry?
Got time for the Bible today? Do you believe in the Bible at all? Okay. You good? Now said. So, with that being said, now Amos 9 and 9 through 10 has far more meaning and context. And I have to say this, that was a Moabite. And she's walking around in a bodysuit with her flat ass all out. See, these other nations, they're following right behind us. They're going to become the new niggas. See, while we're being raised up, and we're reestablishing ourselves as the nobility on the planet. See, we have to understand, these other nations are going to descend into what we call today niggerdom. See, and this is something that most of our people don't quite take a notice to, because they're too busy surfing, partying, trying to make it in this world. But they don't notice that the heathen are following right behind them off the proverbial cliff, where there is no one who is responsible for their young ones. The leadership and the leaders of their nations are beginning to languish, right? Unable to make sound decisions with any form of foresight. All of that is happening because it happened to us. And the scepter has not departed from Judah, as it says in Genesis 49. So what we go through, and the so-called changes and trends that happen to us, they will follow suit upon the other nations. And that's what we're seeing. See, that's why this earth is all out of course and has to be set back right by the Messiah. But Israel is the nation that will be set back in their right mind, should they be found worthy. It's going to be sudden. And the Most High God's law is going to be put in your inward parts. You're going to have a celestial, heavenly body. One like unto Yahushua, as he currently is. on the right side of the Father. We will be like he is. But these other nations are still going to be in their sinful flesh. And they're going to have a lot of corrections, right, that are going to need to be made upon them. And we're going to correct the other nations with a rod of iron, as it says in Revelations 2:26, right? But let's keep going. So we're going to go ahead and go to Ecclesiastes 1:9-11, because there's one thing that needs to be understood, and that is, just as things happened yesterday, they will happen today, right? Because there is nothing new under the sun, right? Man, that breeze is nice today, man. I'm seeing a lot of Moabites today, man. What's going on? They got a fried rice convention or something around here? Shit. I know you don't see this with Moabites. It's a lot. This is Ecclesiastes, chapter 1 and verse 9. The thing that hath been, it is that which shall be, and that which is done, is that which shall be done. And there is no new thing under the sun. Is there anything whereof it may be said, see, this is new? It hath been already of old time, which was before us. There is no remembrance of former things, neither shall there be any remembrance of things that are to come, with those that shall come hereafter. So, there's nothing new under the sun. The persecution that's coming our way is in the same spirit of the persecution that's come our way since time immemorial. Though it be born of the hatred that the heathen have of us, it was set in motion by the Most High God, who created these heathen as the whipping stick to scourge us with when we go off. And before the final judgment, the Most High God is going to bring a scourge upon all the world, including the Israelites, especially the Israelites. But that's another way that the Most High God is going to justify yanking the sovereignty away from all of these heathen in the kingdom, as Yahushua takes the crowns of all of their kingdoms and places them atop his own head, right? So the Most High God has this story all written out. And everything is nice and it's sewed up, so to speak. But the reality is we're the ones who still have to go through it. So the reality is, if there's no new thing under the sun, let's go ahead and read about some of these things that are coming upon the earth in the Bible. And let's give context to them in the present. Because again, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, with you being the real Israelites and you being hated all over the earth, it is imperative that you understand what is coming your way. Because it will, in fact, come. We're going to go ahead and get the scripture. Hispanics, y'all the Israelites in the Bible. Y'all are from the tribe of Issachar if y'all are Mexican, all right? Issachar means he who is higher. Who are the hardest working people on the planet? Mexican people, hands down. You're in the Bible, you're special, you're kings and princesses walking here. See, if I found out I was in the Bible, I'd at least stop and go, how do you know that? But that's how I know they're Israelites, because our people turn their backs on the prophets in the Bible too. See, there's nothing new under the sun. Just as I brought out in Ecclesiastes 1 and 9. See, nothing has changed around here. That's why Daniel was told to go his way, and knowledge would be increased as time passed, and he would stand in his lot at the end of days. Of course, I'm paraphrasing, right? But that's how such a thing can be said, because our people do not change. Just as hard-headed and stiff-necked as they were back in the times of the prophets of old, they're just as stiff-necked and stubborn today, in the times of the prophets of the present. See, that's why that final judgment is going to be very, very applicable when you receive it. Because it's not going to be an argument of, well, you lived righteous in this life, but you were wicked in a couple of lives. But overall, you get a D-. No. See, our people don't realize you've been coming back life after life after life. And you've been standing in that same lot every life. Some of us have stood in the lot of being wicked, being wayward, and being hard-headed. And some of us have stood in the lot of being repentant, being remorseful, and seeking the Most High. The question is, which lot do you stand in? And by your fruit shall you be known, right? Or to be out of talking about people being known by their fruit. How you doing, sister? Got time for the Bible today?
I'm actually on my way to a call.
Okay, be safe, sister. You know what I'm saying? But we're in the days where the proving time of if you're wicked or if you're righteous is right now. And you'll see that our people have all sorts of excuses to not do the right thing. But when the Son of the Most High God, Yahushua, arrives, he's not going to care much for your excuses. If you're meant to receive mercy, that's already going to be factored into your judgment. There are going to be new elements or new evidence to admit that's going to weigh in the balance of your judgment, because it's all going to be taken into account. You're going to receive that which is meet for you. So let's keep going. Right? Actually, you know what? I might come back to this later, but that's all I needed, right? I'm going to read it again just for the camera. This is Habakkuk 2 and 3. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will come surely. All right, because it will surely come, it will not tarry. So, the day of visitation, the final judgment, all the prophesied wars, whether they've come already or they are to come, right? They will come, right? That's something that our people have to take stock of, or not, and be destroyed. But to those of us who wish to be preserved, this is what you're going to need to realize. You're going to have to get on board, repent, and keep God's laws. Right? Well, let's go ahead and go to 2 Esdras 16 and 8. And then we're going to skip to 19 and go to 26. All right? probably fair-skinned women.
Yeah, yeah. I would say on my mother's side, yeah, they're more fair skinned than my black. Okay, so my great grandmother, she was she was actually a model in Johnson University way back when. But a lot of people don't like a lot of that. It's very, you know, a lot about recently found out that said that the 1500s, that father was it was no man's land. There was Muslims fighting Christians, and then there was, you know, gypsies and all kinds of stuff.
Okay.
You know, so that's kind of when, I don't know exactly when they fled, but I know that they fled to Spain, they go to France, they had to go.
Okay. Let me read something to you, and we're going to see, because one of the things that we always get asked is, how do you know you're an Israelite, right? This is Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. So, whoever the real Israelites are, for not obeying God's commandments, they'll have curses on them. Those curses are how you figure out who the Israelites are. Okay? This is verse 46. And they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever. So, as long as the Israelites are not obeying God,
Right.
the curses will be on them, and they will be a sign to the entire world who the children of God are.
Okay.
Now, I have a question,
Yeah.
right? I'm going to read this, and I'm going to ask you, does this apply to your family? Verse 54, so that the man that is tender among you and very delicate, his eye shall be evil toward his brother, and toward the wife of his bosom, and toward the remnant of his children, which he shall lead. So you're talking about brother-on-brother violence and hostility. You're talking about men leaving their families and deserting their children, and enmity and animosity between a man and his wife. Does that happen a lot in your family?
I mean, I have a few, I actually have one aunt, one uncle. They've been together for a long time. Almost 40 on both sides. Yeah, I mean, that's me.
Okay.
You know, and you know what, man? I've been trying to bring that back. I got married to my first wife. I was
Hillary. Okay. I'm gonna read one more thing to you, right? This is Isaiah 42 and verse 22. But this is a people robbed and spoiled. They are all of them snared in holes, and they are hid in prison houses. The real Israelites are hid in prison houses.
Right.
That's jail, basically. Now, when you look at prisons, aren't they filled up with mostly blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians?
Those that I've been to.
Yeah, yeah. Now, guess what? What if I told you it's like that all over the earth?
I believe it.
Because guess what? If you're an Israelite not keeping God's laws, you can't escape the curses.
You know what? Not to do a lot of that. When you kind of bring that back, I think the way back affected the son. If I don't do something like that, I'm trying. I'm really trying. It's hard. Like my wife and I, you know, I got married. I'm trying to follow. I still be something. But believe me, I'm aware of what's going on.
So let's get to the foundation of it, right? What should you be doing as an Israelite? If you count yourself among God's children, what is it that we should be doing?
What is God's will?
God's will. Okay. What you said is spiritual, right? This is Ecclesiastes 12 and 13. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear God and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. That's our whole mission, brother. Now, when it says keep God's commandments, how many commandments are there? They say 10.
Right. There's more.
There's 613.
That's a lot.
Now, remember what I said? If we don't keep God's commandments, we have curses upon us. Now I have a question. Do you think your enemies know if you don't keep God's commandments, they get to take advantage of you under the curses? How about we start small, right? So if I gave you a commandment of God, would you keep it? Don't like that. Just don't like it. Or don't like it, right? I just want you to choose. Because here's the thing, and this is to my camera as well. What's your name, brother? Mario, it's a pleasure to meet you. But not just to my brother Mario, but to anybody who sees this video. When you come to worship God, God has standards. Just like when you have kids, you say, hey, look, every day, or every 2 days, you gotta clean your room. If you come home from work, room's not clean, what happened? Or say it's been a week and you've been telling them every day what you got to do eventually.
Yeah, I told him the other day, you picked me up on Father's Day, and I had to see him, like a like, I mean, the way both my kids are put through school, there's a time right now, he's in his 20s, kind of has stuff. Just, he picked me up on Father's Day, right? He's always talked about, I always try to get him to go to church. He doesn't want to go to church. I don't know, it's sad, so. About it. And so, the first tattoo right here on my arm is with Dad. I think it's artist. One with glasses. Michelangelo. Okay, so he had that on his arm. I said, the time to take it right now, you know, and it is next slide, heaven, I'm
Commandments. These are, well, let's read this, right? This is 1 Corinthians chapter 6 and verse 19. No, what? No, know ye not that your body is right? What? Know ye not that your body is the temple of the Holy Ghost, which is in you, which ye have of God, and ye are not your own, for ye are bought with a price. Therefore, God in your body and in your spirit, which are God's. So your body is not your own, right? Now I'm gonna read something else to you because I brought that out to let you know that you're. I'm sorry. Okay. So when I say that your body is not your own, it goes even further. Your body is not to be defiled, right? Now, when you first smoked a cigarette, what was the thing that you did? You coughed, right? Yeah, I know. The first time I ever smoked a cigarette, I know I was coughing like crazy and my lungs were probably a whole day. 'Cause I think I was like 14, trying to be cool, trying to fit in, right? But this is why you cough. It's because you're desecrating your temple, right? This is 1 Corinthians chapter 3 and verse 16. Know ye not that ye are the temple of God, and that the Spirit of God dwelleth in you? If any man defile the temple of God, him shall God destroy. For the temple of God is holy, its temple is holy. So your body is holy to the Most High God. long enough, what happens? Feed anything. You're right. Mario, I'm here every Saturday from 5:30. Yes, sir. Let me read one more thing to you. One more, just one more. Because the reason why you're being led to this spot, you heard me last week, and you came back. Were you the one at the bus stop that one day? Yeah, yeah, you were listening. You didn't say anything though. Yeah, yeah, but I knew you were listening though, brother. That's how you do it. You got more time this Saturday? Actually, I'm a 5:30 until about 10 p.m. But there's one more thing, right? This is Isaiah chapter 30 and 20. And though the Lord give you the bread of adversity and the water of affliction, yet shall not thy teachers be removed into a corner any more, but thine eyes shall see thy teachers, and thine ears shall hear a word behind thee saying, This is the way, walk ye in it. When ye turn to the right hand, when ye turn to the left. Brother, you're an Israelite, man. And I know you say you're a Spaniard. You're not a Spaniard. You're my people. Because you got all the damn curses, man. Come back and see me, man. All right, Mario. All praise. Yes, sir. I'll be here. All praise to the Most High God. Of course, of course. Oh, before you go, the name of God is not God. His name is Yahweh. Yahweh. Say it. Yahweh. Now think about it. You've been praying to God your whole life. You've been calling him God. That's like calling your dad Mr. Yahweh. In the name of Yahweh Shah. That's not Jesus Christ. It's not his son's name. So Yahweh in the name of Yahweh Shah. And if you can, face the east. That's toward Jerusalem. All right, brother? All right, man. Take care, take care. See, that's why we out here, man. You gotta let our people know, man, they're the kings walking the earth, man. It's a beautiful thing to wake our people up. You know what I'm saying? His dad ain't no Spaniard, bro. His dad's an Israelite. He's a king walking the earth, man. That's beautiful. I love it. This is Deuteronomy, chapter 7 and verse 6. For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God. The Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself above all people that are upon the face of the earth. See, that's why we have to be out here to let blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians know that we're God's chosen people. We're special. And we're not going through hell for nothing. Right? Israelite? His life hanging in doubt day and night, violence being in his neighborhood, tumult being in his family, in and out of the pen. That's the life of an Israelite right there. He also told me that he worked in construction. I'm going to tell you, man, hard labor, that's the life of an Israelite. Whether you're doing a physical job or a mental job, it's a hard life being an Israelite. Unless the Most High God puts you in a position where you don't have to work as hard. But that's not very common around these parts. That's just being outright and honest. That's not very common. Right? That's why we have to be out here preaching, man. We have to be out here giving breakdowns. We have to be loud and cry aloud and spare not. You know what I'm saying? I'm not worried about a brand. I'm not worried about a group. I'm not worried about your bylaws or all that. I'm out here to do the work of the Lord. Right? And I know I'm taking a small aside from my lesson, but it's got to be said, because this is why my shirt has changed. And it's because all of a sudden, after 9 months being part of somebody's organization, all of a sudden, now they want me doing flyer duty. I'm not doing that. Because the lost sheep are walking around here. The lost sheep are hearing this message. They might come up 1 at a time, 2 at a time, 7 at a time. It don't matter. As long as they come up. They need somebody out here preaching the word. And I'm going to give it to them. But, let's go ahead and go back to the lesson. All praise. Oh, and just for background, about a month or 2 ago during Fiesta, that brother was standing right there at the bus stop. He didn't say a word to me, but he was listening. You see? That's why planting those seeds, they matter. They matter, right? Because the lost sheep, they remember where they got fed at. And when they come across that area again, they make it a point to stop and try to get fed. Especially when the Most High God puts it on their mind and their spirit to do so. That's why if you call yourself being a watchman of the Most High God, remember your station. And remember who appointed you to it. Otherwise, you might be taking a ride on one of these damn EMS vehicles up out of here. Right? Because the Most High God ain't playing. And the number on the side of that fire truck is the number 7. Lucky 7, right? But Lucky 7 is heading to that same building where fire trucks go on rotation all damn day. You can only imagine what's happening in that building where EMS has to show up every few hours every day. That's why it is important that the watchmen be at their post and that you not be out here trying to attain rank or vainglory. I couldn't give half a fuck whether I'm in a camp, not in a camp, officer, soldier, presidente, emperor. I don't give a fuck. I'm out here to do this work. Now, unless somebody is going to bring their ass down here and do this work, I don't think I can step out of my office. So if anybody's watching my video asking why I left, I'm going to just say the fucking group's name. Why I left Sakari, or why they kicked me out, or why all this is happening. That's why. Because the lost sheep come first. And I'm not dropping back to flyer duty just so that y'all can obey your laws. There's your answer. All right, but let's get back on this lesson.
This way. We're going to go down here.
So we're going to go back to 2nd Ezra 16. All right. So we're going to go to 8, and then we're going to go over to 19 through 26. This is 2nd Ezra, chapter 16 and verse 8. The mighty Lord sendeth the plagues, and who is he that can drive them away? So we see the plagues of all sorts of calamities, diseases, demics of various sorts, whether they be pandemics, right? Epidemics, like anything that can possibly be fear-mongered into existence. We're hearing rumors of it coming up on the earth. America is being inundated with her enemies from other nations because her borders are not secure. The dollar is falling, so now economic woe and turmoil is coming to America. Dare I say it's already here. Many people can't even afford food and shelter at the same time. So a lot of people are having to choose. Do I want to live in a house that has air conditioning, running water, and, you know, be able to afford to go to work every day, putting gas in my car, or do I want a full belly? See, many people are having to compromise now because all sorts of turmoil is coming upon the earth, right? And who can drive all of these woes and miseries away? And the answer to that is no one, right? Well, let's keep going. Verse 19, behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for men. So these scourges are meant to correct things that God finds unacceptable, abominable, detestable. Pick your qualifier, pick your characterizing word. But they are scourges for amendment, right? And think of a scourge like a cat of nine tails, a whip, a paddle, a rod of iron, meant to strike someone with. So the Most High God is striking us in hopes of correcting the entire earth. You got time for the Bible, brother? A couple minutes? Thou sayest, right? Just know if you're Hispanic, you are a king walking the earth. You are part of the people who are in the Bible, right? Native Hispanic, not Spaniard, right? But anyway, verse 20. But for all these things, they shall not turn away from their wickedness, nor be always mindful of the scourges. So, despite all of these things, famine, plague, tribulation, and anguish, despite all of these scourges, many people are not going to turn away from their wicked ways. Now, when it comes to repentance and turning away from wickedness, this is talking about the Israelites, because the Most High God couldn't give half a damn about these heathen turning away, right? Now, there are some universal laws that the Most High God demands that everyone keeps. Things like homosexuality, child sacrifice, they're not supposed to be happening on the earth, right? Removing your neighbor's landmark, murder, adultery, those are universal laws. But in terms of the Most High God wanting them to repent, that message is for the Israelites. See, these other nations are going to be beaten into place. See, they're going to be chastised with no mercy and put back in their place, into their proper conduct. But for the Israelites, our lot is that we return unto the Most High God and repent, right? Verse 21, behold, victuals shall be so good cheap upon the earth, that they shall think themselves to be in good case. And even then shall evils grow upon the earth, sword, famine, and great confusion. And that's what's happening now. You have a lot of people walking around saying, well, I can afford my place to stay. My car note is well within my budget. And I'm eating more than I've ever eaten in my life. And my bank account is still looking pretty good. So what are you so worried about? Not understanding that judgment is drawing closer and closer. And in that day, ain't nobody going to be spared. The rich or those, I don't want to say the homeless, because there are homeless people out here who actually got more money than you think. But the rich or the destitute, right? Verse 22, for many of them that dwell upon the earth shall perish of famine, and the other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy. And the dead shall be cast out as dung, and there shall be no man to comfort them. For the earth shall be wasted, and the city shall be cast down. There shall be no man left to till the earth and to sow it. So the Most High God is going to see to it that there's going to be a large culling of men and women upon the earth, rich and poor, free and bond. Right? Many people are going to die, so many that the earth is no longer going to be cared for in terms of chopping down plants, maintaining roads and infrastructure. Right? See, the Most High God is seeing to it that judgment is going to befall the earth. And to blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, should you not turn back, you will die amongst that judgment. Right? Verse 25. The tree shall give fruit, and who shall gather? The grapes shall ripen, and who shall tread them? For all places shall be desolate of men, so that one man shall desire to see another, and to hear his voice. For of the city there shall be 10 left, and 2 of the field, which shall hide themselves in the thick groves, and in the clefts of the rocks. As in an orchard of olives, upon every tree there are left 3 or 4 olives. So this is talking about when tribulation strikes, you're going to have very few people upon the earth. You're going to have very few people here to gather the fruits of fields, to maintain the infrastructure, not just of America, but of all these nations. See, one of the things that nobody's even talking about, although it should be talked about pretty much every moment of every day, is what they're going to transition to after the dollar collapses, right? They've already passed legislation to basically go ahead and legally transition into a digital mark, the RFID microchip, right? Which will be implanted in your hand or in your forehead, right? And you already see this technology, whether it be called RFID or Neuralink. Y'all got time for the Bible today? A couple minutes? If y'all are native Hispanic, just know y'all the people in the Bible. Y'all are Israelites. The Mexican man is from the tribe of Issachar. Issachar in Hebrew means he is higher. The hardest working people on the planet are who? Exactly, y'all are Israelites, right? See, most of our people, they say they love Jesus, but if I ask them how many commandments are there, they'll say 10 when there's 613. See, that's why Christ had to tell people, why call ye me Lord, Lord, and do not the things which I say? But see, most of our people, they're not interested in serving God. They're interested in being justified in their own eyes. And because of that, they've received their reward. But in the day of visitation, they're going to pay for that. And they're going to pay extensively and in blood. But let's keep going, right? So we see that the Most High God is going to cull the numbers of people so severely that there's going to be barely anybody left in these cities. When you run across somebody, it's going to be literally a miracle that you came face to face. It's going to truly be the movement or the moving of the Most High God through the Spirit, placing people in the same vicinity to even interact with one another. Because one of the things that we don't even give credence to is just how large these cities really are. How many buildings there really are. How many places to hide. How many nooks and crannies that you can dwell in without being noticed. Right? And can you imagine a city the size of San Antonio being reduced in its population to 10 people? See, most people, they can't even begin to imagine that, but that's exactly what the Bible says is going to happen. So that's why we're trying to tell our people, if you want to be of those who are preserved, you might want to get right with the Lord. You might want to keep his commandments so he can be justified in preserving you in those days. All right? Got some brothers and sisters walking behind me. Right? Y'all got time for the Bible today? A couple minutes? Thou says. All right? You see, we're trying to tell blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians that they are the true Israelites, God's chosen children. All right? Do you believe in the Bible, brother?
Yes.
Before you go, do you know what tribe you are in the Bible? Is your father a Negro or black man?
Yeah.
You're from the tribe of Judah, brother. You're from the same tribe Christ came out of. They describe Christ as having skin like burned brass. That's brass right there. Why you think you're the fastest and the strongest on the planet, brother?
I don't know.
The Bible says we are special people. God chose us to be above everybody else. That's in Deuteronomy 7 and 6 if you ever want to read it. But just remember, brother, you're special, all right? You were king. Never forget that, man. And this is to my camera. If brothers like me weren't out here to tell our people that they're special, the white man would just call you a nigga and get on with it, right? He ain't gonna tell you that you're special. But see, our people never stop and consider. During the hardest time of our existence, slavery, they fed you basically beef jerky and cornmeal, and they worked you 18 hours a day. How do we survive that? I'm gonna read it right here. This is Deuteronomy chapter 7 and verse 6. For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God. The Lord thy God had chosen thee to be a special people unto himself above all people that are upon the face of the earth. So that's why we have to tell our people, you special. And you're not just special by way of your achievements. You're special by way of your physiology. See, one of the things blacks and Hispanics don't know is that you're very hard to kill. You're very hard to kill, Jake. And when I call you Jake, I mean descendants of Jacob, the Israelites. You're very hard to kill. See, if you look up in Flint, Michigan, they've been pumping lead in the water for decades, and those people are still alive. How is that possible when lead accumulates in the brain and it kills you? It's called lead poisoning. But our people are still alive. They're up and kicking. Granted, kicking each other, because one of the side effects of lead poisoning is aggression. That's one of the things that our people don't know, but our enemies do. Another thing that our enemies have used to try to kill us is abortion. Last year, our women aborted 1 million babies, and that's in the black community alone. But yet, blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians, we still spitting out babies. How is that possible when our entire environment is poisoned? The water that comes out of your faucet at home has traces of arsenic in it, traces of lead, and it has sodium fluoride in it. Right? Sodium fluoride is a neurotoxin, and it results in you being docile and dumb. But our people are still alive. And now it's starting to come out just how defiled the foods really are. Right? Whether it be some of the flavoring agents that they use stem cells to create. See, most of our people don't even realize where all these cancers, the diabetes, all these things are coming from. They're coming as a result of our enemies trying to kill us. But as I said, blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians, you are very hard to kill. That's why now the white man is killing himself, trying to kill you. That's why if you look over in the land of Israel today, the people who suffer skin cancer most are the people who call themselves Jews and they're not. Revelations 2. Are you good, brother? You go that way. See, we have to give this commentary to our people because we got to let them know the Bible is not the book that you heard from T.D. Jakes. This isn't the same book that you heard from Creflo Dollar. See, they read the parts of the Bible that justified them collecting money from you. But they didn't read the parts of the Bible that told you who you were, that told you why we're the ones who have these broken families, why we can't seem to unite and accomplish anything, because we're under the curses of Deuteronomy 28. See, one of the things that our people don't even realize is that we literally are living in a land where our lives hang in doubt day and night. Right? Is that that brother I was talking to? Maybe not. Hope it is. I'm trying to get him to stop it. Right? So I'm going to read 2 things while these people are near you. You got time for the Bible today? No? Just know you will keep walking here. All right, brother? This is Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. Now I read that just to set up for this, because I overheard a bit of alarm about the police presence being here. Now that's one thing that blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians all worry about, and that's the police. But here's why we worry. Verse 64, and the Lord shall scatter thee among all people, from the one end of the earth, even unto the other, and there thou shalt serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone. And among these nations shalt thou find no ease, neither shall the sole of thy foot have rest, but the Lord shall give thee there a trembling heart, and failing of eyes, and sorrow of mind. And thy life shall hang in doubt day and night, and thou shalt fear day and night, and shalt have none assurance of thy life. So our people have no assurance of their life. Our lives hang in doubt day and night. And it doesn't matter if you're walking around in plain view of the police or if you're sound asleep in your bed, your life still hangs in doubt. See, and this is something we have to tell blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, that you are God's chosen. But because you are God's chosen, you are required to keep God's laws. Right? Because blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians don't keep God's laws, we are under the heel of our enemies. And our enemies show us no mercy. Right? See, and again, if I were black, Hispanic, or Native Indian and I heard that my people were the real Israelites, I would at least inquire, how do you know that? Right? But more times than not, our people can't be bothered with such things because they don't understand the times in which they live in. See, there's a time coming where our people are going to need the Lord more than anything else, and the Most High God is not going to be listening.
I think we go that way.
Right?
Yeah, we're gonna have to get down there. Because I've did it several times. It's just been a while since we've been here.
Nisha right here.
Nah, I'm not going to read that.
Ready? Mom, move. Move. We're gonna run
But,
down.
you know, we're going to stay on the lesson, right?
Jeremiah jumps on the bed.
Y'all done? We done. Y'all ready? I'm gonna cut it out. Don't go too far. Don't cut it out. Best break.
So 2 Ezra 16 and 27. Right? This is 2 Ezra, chapter 16 and verse 27. So that one man shall desire to see another, and to hear his voice. For a city there shall be 10 left, and 2 of the field, which shall hide themselves in the thick grove, and in the clefts of the rocks. So, the Most High God is about to reduce the number of people to an exceeding few. See, a lot of our people, they get distracted by the appearance of things. You hear children playing. You see people planning for another day, not understanding that it's going to come swiftly. Where you're not going to be able to go anywhere without a checkpoint. You're not going to be able to go into any stores without paying with digital currency, meaning you're going to have to buy into the system wholeheartedly. Right? Verse 34. In the wars shall their bridegrooms be destroyed, and their husbands shall perish of famine. One of the things that a lot of our people don't even realize is that you have literally the draft being instituted now. So if you're between the age of 18 and 20 or 29, it is now mandated that you literally get ready to go to war. See, that young brother, he was listening, right? But see, everybody else, they trying to go on about their business. See, most of our people, they don't understand the moves that are being made. See, according to Proverbs 21 and 1, the Most High God is turning the hearts of these kings like the rivers of water, whithersoever he will. Right? And now the Most High God is steering the hearts of these kings to impose drafts, forced conscription into the military to go fight in these wars. See, but most of our people, they don't hearken unto the news, so they're not worried or aware of such things. They're not worried about them, right? Because they are ignorant. But ignorance is not an excuse, especially when you're dealing with your most hated adversaries. See, that's why we're trying to tell our people, right? You need to put down the distractions and the diversions, pick up your Bible, seek ye out of the book of the Lord and read, right? As it says in Isaiah 34:16, right? Talking about none shall want her mate. This is the only book that you really need to make it up out of here and be found great or graceful, right, in the eyes of God. How you doing, brother? Got time for the Bible today? A couple minutes? Yeah. Okay. right?
I'm trying to be free.
My Puerto Rican brother right now, saying all praises.
Shalom, my
Shalom, shalom. So do you watch the videos and that stuff?
Yeah, I've been studying it for a long time. God revealed it to me.
All praises.
Yeah.
Son is in the face, bro. I'm trying to see.
You recording? You making videos?
Yeah, yeah. You're making a little
Live,
video.
live.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I don't do live. Yeah, because too much stuff be happening. Because I've had
I seen the guys up there doing a ministry earlier. The
purple and gold.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
like this.
Yeah, I was up
So you already know what your main duty as an Israelite is, right? So I have a question. If you know that, where are you at in your walk? Because you got to be spreading this word, man.
I was real close to God. I had a real good relationship with Jesus, with Yeshua, man, and I backslid. I was talking with other brothers who were telling me the same thing. The main thing you gotta do is
So how about this? You know one of the commandments is to not defile your body, right? So how about throwing that away? Let's start, man.
I like it.
I got a warning. But how about like pork, shrimp, and lobster?
But even out of the beef, though, it's kind of especially if you're organic and all that stuff.
They even say the organic food is famous. Because according to the FDA regulations, say like you get organic flour, there's a certain measure of lung parts that's allowed for our flour and all that. So nothing here is clean. Because it's how about we try to get that motion? The whole there you go. So are you aware of the curses of the Roman Empire?
We're still in the wilderness. We're still on, man.
All
We're still in the wilderness.
right. So I have to say this to my camera. Every once and again, you run across a mature sheep. This brother is already basically ready to start walking in the truth. But here's the thing, brother. Now you got to start walking. You got to be about it. You know what I'm saying? And it's not to drive the city home, but when you have the opportunity to do something small. As a matter of fact, what you're saying, everything you're saying, I'm going to back it up with scripture. All right? And I'm going to read something from my brother Mario right there. Because one of the things that happens with Israelites, when we speak a lot of times, we say things that are in the Bible and we don't even know. Right? Because we are God's chosen people. He made us very special, the way we think, the way we move. Right? This is Romans chapter 10 and verse 1. Brethren, my heart's desire and prayer to God for Israel is that they might be saved. For I bear them record that they have a zeal of God, but not according to knowledge. So although you say things that are in the Bible, you might not know that they're in the Bible. That's why the Most High is putting this man like you down this morning to bring these things to your remembrance. Right? Because one of the things that we often trip over but we don't quite understand is we think it. That's why I'm not saying I'm teaching, I'm reminding you. Because once upon a time, we were with Moses in the wilderness. And we received the law at his mouth. So we all know what's going on. But over time, we have forgotten. Right? So now we're starting to remember who we are. And our service to God is required as we come back to him. Right? I want to show you in the Bible that our departure from our ways, the Most High God knew it all was going to happen. Right? This is Deuteronomy chapter 30 and verse 1. And it shall come to pass, when all these things are come upon thee, the blessing and the curse, which I have set before thee, and thou shalt call them to mind among all the nations whither the Lord thy God hath driven thee, and shalt return unto the Lord thy God, and shalt obey his voice, according to all that I command thee this day, thou and thy children, and with all thine heart, and with all thy soul. So, literally, the Most High God said, look, there's going to be a time after the curses have come upon you, you've been scattered everywhere, and in the midst of your captivity, now you're waking up. Now that you're waking up, you're going to come and you're going to seek the Lord with all your mind, soul, and strength. And seeking the Lord with your mind, soul, and strength, what does that mean? Yeah. But how do you show God love? There you go.
Love me, keep my commandments.
Where's that at?
Don't make me like that. That's just
Okay. Now, how many people read that part of Christ's words? Because they try to say Christ said, love your neighbor and love God, right? With all your mind, soul, and strength. But if I say love God, what does that mean? I can't hug God. I can't give him a handshake. How do I love him? It's in 1 John, right? See, this is to those who are not initiated in the truth. Like I said to my brother Mario earlier, God has standards. We got standards too. Why can't God have a standard? You know what I'm saying? If God is the master of all there is, and he can't tell you what to do, how is he the master? That's something people never think about. When God gives them a commandment, they want to reason with God. When you don't reason with the Father of all things. He's not a respecter of person. Brothers on it. This is 1 John chapter 5 and verse 2. By this we know that we love the children of God, when we love God and keep his commandments. So that's how you love Israelites and Israelites. If I love you as a brother, I'm not going to sleep with your wife. If I know you haven't eaten today, I'm going to make sure you eat. Right? Little things like that. This is how we make sure that we're there for one another. Right? Verse 3. For this is the love of God, that we keep his commandments, and his commandments are not grievous. So the love of God is literally keeping the commandments. So if God tells you not to eat pork, shrimp, crab, lobster, as it says in Leviticus 11, and you say, well, I'm going to do my own thing, you don't love God. Right?
not only that, though, love those first fruits.
Now, I brought it out to Brother Mario earlier in 1 Corinthians chapter 3. When you defile your temple, right? The Most High God will destroy you for that. And I'm going to tell you, if you got diabetes, you're destroyed. You know what I'm saying? Say you stub your toe. That's a whole new dimension of if you ain't got diabetes and you stub your toe. You know what I'm saying? Because now you got to worry about gangrene. You got to worry about foot amputation. That's destroyed. But here's the thing. God is putting these laws here to have us avoid those. Right? But this is 1 John chapter 2. If I get this page to turn. But chapter 2 and verse 3. And hereby we do know that we know him if we keep his commandments. He that saith I know him and keepeth not his commandments is a liar, and the truth is not in him. So if you call yourself loving God, knowing God, and you don't know the first thing about the commandments, then you don't love God. That doesn't mean you hate him, but that means you don't love him. Because you can't love me if you don't know him. And I can't love you if I don't know him. It's things that are matter of fact. But if you let your enemies tell it, they'll tell you that, hey, I love God, I pray to God every day. They don't do anything the Bible teaches them. Right? So I have a question, right? Who is salvation?
Salvation originally is for the Jews.
Okay.
Now,
Now, who are the Gentiles?
all the way
Now, can I prove to you that the Gentiles was? Because we were spread to all nations under heaven. Right? So, I'm going to hold this sign up, and then I'm going to show y'all some pictures. Right? You see the people on this sign, you got the Haitians, you know, people in Haiti right now are going through hell. Right? Blacks here go through hell. Our Hispanic brothers, whether they be in Colombia, Mexico, all going through hell. Native tribes, you know they're going through hell on those reservations. I'm gonna tell you, a lot of the natives, they know more than they let on, because they keep a lot of that in the house. They used to call the Great Spirit Jehovah. That's why my native Hispanic brothers, I try to tell y'all, if I see a cross on your neck, throw it away. Because that's not. Because you know this, if somebody in your family got killed by a Glock, you don't get a gold diamond studded Glock on a chain. You know, and you laugh when you hear it because you're like, yeah, that is dumb. So why would Christ come back and want to see you wearing a cross? Yeah, it's a mockery. It's like, yo, you're wearing the thing that I got hung on. That would be like wearing a noose around black people. You know what I'm saying? It's exactly the same thing. But I'm going to show you, brother, right? Because there's always something to learn in the Bible. And one of the things that we need to learn is that salvation is only to those who need to be saved. Because I have a question, what does the white man need to be saved? So, if they own everything, they can't be spread. Every nation were inward and poverty. Don't we need to be saved? Now the proof that we're scattered, right? This is Acts chapter 2 and verse 5. And there were dwelling at Jerusalem Jews, devout men, out of every nation under heaven. So we were scattered, even in the time of the and wherever we're scattered, we're given a name. For instance, today, you know there are Afro people or black people. They're called the Sikh, S-I-K-I-S. You know where they're at in India? You know what ghetto is? The place where you keep the Jews. That's the 15th century terminology context. Place where you keep the Jews. How about Cuba and Puerto Rico, what they call the ghetto? A barrio, favela. But it's the same thing. And not to mention, not only is it the same thing, a lot of times, y'all have the same exact sayings that we have. You know what I'm saying? Like the hatred for one another. We call it beef in the ghetto here. But y'all got something for it down in the favela.
They have different social classes based on color also.
Yep.
They hate people dark races.
Colorism. Not only are you saying
The
people,
same island, the same tribe, live right next to each other.
but here's the thing. They'll let an East Indian man darker than both of us, man, and take all the money and take all the business. And they don't say shit to him. But let one of your brothers try to start a business. And you'll see your brother come on the corner, man. That nigga, you better do this. Yeah. But here's the thing. If we came together and we truly understood we were Israelites, we gave our allegiance to one another and no one else, no one could stop us. But that's exactly why they call you Puerto Rican, they call you Mexican, they call you black. And we're the same exact people going through the same exact problem. Right? And I'm going to show you a picture. Because a lot of times the brutality that we've gone through doesn't have pictures. You know what I'm saying? Because I know when the white man came, he did these same things to you that he did to us. This is a book called Without Sanctuary. It's lynching photography from the Jim Crow South. Right? This is just a whole thing. And I'm going to show you one more. Because it's not just hanging. They barbecue them in the water. Yep. Now, they used to actually eat us as well. Did you know that? There's a book, if you can find it, actually, if you have the internet connection, I'll give you the link. It's a book called The Negro, Collectible Negro. There you go. But it talks about how the white man was at the okay, so it's powerful slavery. And not only we 28 and verse 37. And thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb and a byword among all nations, whither the Lord shall lead thee. So we are a mockery by name. Have you ever been around somebody from like China or somebody from Africa? Don't they have that pompousness about them, where they don't want to talk to you, they don't want to get too friendly with you. But if you know who you are and you say, hey, you know we're the real Jews, they'll open up to you almost every time. And I know it because I do it right here. And when you know who you are, you know what they say? You finally figured it out. Because guess what? You not knowing enables them to come into your community and take advantage of you.
Hey, open up my eyes, my friend. I'll see you later, brother. Okay? Nice meeting you, okay? Bye, brother. I'm Mario Duke. Okay?
Be safe, brother. Be safe.
Oh, he said his last name was Will Gottman. Your favorite. Remember how he famous George Many Idols? My last name is Pagan. Many gods.
Damn. Now, can you say that to my camera? Because here's the thing. We need these witnesses. Because as our people wake up, they're going to start drawing the lines going, wait a minute, I'm an Israelite. Say that to the camera, man.
Hi. I woke up to what's going on. I looked up my last name is Pagan, and it means, to have many gods. So as you can see, the scripture comes to life as Ephraim is joined to idols. We even got the curses onto our names, still to this day. So.
Did you need some water?
I got one.
Yeah, it's obsidian metal too. And so I usually didn't even carry weapons. I used to come out here for about 2 years, no weapons.
This spiritual war is starting to become physical. As you know.
Becoming carnal.
That's why, I
Yeah,
have to do the same thing.
Well, it's because, like the Bible says, as a matter of fact, we're just going to get out the Bible, man. We're going to get out the Bible. Yeah, have a seat, man. Have a seat. You see, now, Satan is coming down with great wrath because he knows he has such a short time. See, and that's something that we have to consistently remind our people. This white man is not your friend. Right?
I've been telling people that. And they think, oh, they wear the same color as me or they work in the same spot as me. But if you notice, they don't walk like us. They don't talk like us, and they help their people out.
Yep.
And they keep the money in their possessions.
Yep.
We don't do that. Our money, the first thing we get money, we go give it to them. We buy jewelry and stuff.
Yep. Got to give it right back.
Right back to them. Instead of going to the community.
This is Revelations, chapter 12 and verse 12. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. And woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. And when the dragon saw that he was cast unto the earth, he persecuted the woman which brought forth the man-child. Now, who is that woman who brought forth the man-child? Metaphorically, this is talking about Israel bringing forth the Messiah, Yahushua. And that's exactly what's happened to our people. And that is what is happening, because they are persecuting us more and more by the day. That's why it's becoming more and more important to understand who you are. You got time for the Bible, brother? A couple minutes? Thou sayest. Yeah, but you still got to make sure. You got to try. Because you never know. Yeah, man. Yeah, because one of the things that's going to happen is during the time of judgment, you're not going to have an excuse. You can't tell Yahushua, hey, I had my headphones in, so I didn't have a chance. Hey, Ernest, Hey, my boy, what's up, man? No, we hugging over here. All right, man. How about you? Doing good. You looking clean, man. Yeah. How long you been? Okay. 40. Hey, man, keep it up, brother. We're doing good, man. All praises. Well, have a seat, man. Have a seat, brother. Now, I have to say this to my camera. This is why I'm out here. So to anybody who says that I need to be on flyer duty, you need to understand, lost sheep are out here. They need help. Oh, no, I got water, brother. I got water. Thank you, though. Huh? No, I don't mind that, brother. Yeah. If you want to step out, step over there. Sit over there. Yeah, you good? You know what I'm saying? Because if Yahweh Shai sent us to the lost sheep of the house of Israel, who am I to deny the sheep when they come to get fed the word?
Feed my sheep.
Feed my sheep. If ye love me, feed my sheep. And a lot of our people don't love Christ. That's why they don't feed anybody, right? But my brother Ernest is back. So we're going to keep going on in the spirit, right? Because one of the things that we have to understand is that Yahweh Shai was prophesied of in the Old Testament. And by the Old Testament, I mean 2nd Ezra chapter 2, right? Part of the Apocrypha, right? 2nd Ezra chapter 2 and, no, it's 1st Ezra, Salaki, all right? I always forget.
First Ezra 2?
No, sorry. It's 2nd Ezra 7. Yeah, because I always get that mixed up. Sorry about that. It's going to be 2nd Ezra 7 and 28, right? But I'm going to start from 26, right? Because one of the things that we need to do as Israelites is we need to endure. We all have our hardship that we're going through, right? And part of enduring is remembering that you're an Israelite and keeping the laws of God, no matter what's going on, right? This is 2nd Ezra, chapter 7 and verse 26. Behold, the time shall come that these tokens which I have told thee shall come to pass, and the bride shall appear, and she coming forth shall be seen, that now is withdrawn from the earth. Now that bride is Israel. And this is talking about our people waking up to their true heritage and coming back to the heritage of being Israelites and declaring it boldly. That is what is happening. The bride has appeared in the earth again, right? Verse 27, and whosoever is delivered from the foresaid evils shall see my salvation, or my wonders, right? So one of the things that we have to understand is the times that are coming up on the earth. An angel was speaking with Ezra earlier in this chapter, and he was talking about the hardship that we would have to go through to be saved out of, right? So those of us who are preserved through these hardships shall see the coming of the Messiah, right? Verse 28, for my son Jesus shall be revealed with those that be with him, and they that remain shall rejoice within 400 years. So when he returns, we're going to rejoice, right? Now, a lot of our people don't understand that his appearance is going to mean the destruction of a lot of people, right? Because he's coming to pay back the other nations that have put us on the bottom of the earth. Now, I like this brother. He's over here smiling at Jesus. I do the same thing.
It's coming.
Because when you read Isaiah 63, Christ is coming here to let out a lot of blood, man. And I'm talking about he wants to get it in by himself.
He came
on
as
the white
a
man.
lamb, now he's coming back as a lion.
As a lion. You know what I'm saying? After these years shall my son Christ die, and all men that have life. Now this was talking about his first time coming, right? So he died, and then he rose again. He went back into heaven in a whirlwind, or a UFO, as we would call it, right? And the world shall be turned into the old silence 7 days, like as in the former judgments, so that no man shall remain. Y'all got time for the Bible today? A couple minutes?
We trying to find out the boat tour.
Okay, it should be down there to the right.
Oh, down here to the right. You said down here to the right.
Yeah, it should be down there to the right.
Thank you.
And that's where you get on the boat at?
Well, I'm not sure if that's where you get on the boat. That's the river walk is down there. And I see the boats come from over there all the time, so it should be around here.
Y'all this way.
This way, yeah.
It's not down there.
They just thought we was going to the river walk.
It's not, if you follow the river walk on the other side, though, take the way down, and there's a boat, they park up on the side on the left side.
So go that way.
Yeah, get that way and run. Keep on going, show you running.
Israelites, blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians, we the real people of the book. Keep God's commandments. All right, y'all?
People on the planet, by the way.
Yeah.
We are.
As a matter of fact, I'm going to prove it because a lot of people think God chose everybody. He didn't choose everybody like that, right? I like to go to 1 Peter 2 and 9 in the ESV, right? So that's why I try to tell you, Ernest, keep fighting, man. You special, brother. Don't ever give up. Never give up, man.
I was supposed to come back the last 2 weekends, and I got lost in oblivion in my addiction, and but no, these past 4 days, I don't know, I had an epiphany, and just I don't know.
Most like God dealing
I
with
guess
you,
like,
man.
besides public stalking, I guess I mean it's just everything. Maybe just mental.
You got clarity, right?
Got it's putting me where it's putting me where I'm supposed to be.
That's good, brother.
So I'm
That's
like,
good. All
it's
praises.
making me see. It's putting me where I'm supposed to be.
All praises,
You
man.
know, with the help of the public and myself.
What up, but with the help of God.
Yes. Well, yeah. Cause,
Yeah, yeah, because that's where it starts from.
Yes.
Because that's where your strength is. And I'm going to tell you, that's for any Israelite. See, a lot of times blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians, we get confused because we seem like we're faster and stronger than everybody else. But that comes from the Lord. That's not from us. You know what I'm saying? But
It's in our DNA.
he wrote it into us, right? But if you don't keep his laws, he can turn it off just as easy. He can make you error in every word, right? But this is 1 Peter chapter 2 and verse 9 in the ESV. But you are a chosen race, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, a people for his own possession, that you may proclaim the excellencies of him who called you out of darkness into his marvelous light. So blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians, you that chosen race that I'm talking about, right? The Most High God made it a point to make you better than everyone else, stronger than everyone else. But because he's dealing with you, he's going to punish you when you go off. How do I know that? It's in the Bible, man.
He chastises those he loves.
That's right. Hebrews 12 and 6. You want it, man. Right? This is Amos 3 and 2. Actually, 3 and 1. Hear this word that the Lord hath spoken against you, O children of Israel, against the whole family, which I brought up from the land of Egypt, saying, you only have I known of all the families of the earth. Therefore I will punish you for all your iniquities. So the Most High God makes it apparent that he's only dealing with us. And as a result of only dealing with us, when we don't keep his laws, punishes us. Right? Now I know a lot of times you'll think like, well shit, like say you got addiction, whether it be to drugs, women, whatever. You're thinking these are worldly things. Where does God fit in all this? But here's the thing. Everybody doesn't fall prey to the same addiction or the same impedance, hurdle, however you want to put it. But here's the thing. The Most High God chooses your delusion. See, a lot of people, they don't understand. The Most High God is putting everybody to their own customized test. And however you're weak, that's how you're going to be tested. Because you have to be strengthened. This is a trial by fire, right? Let me get this next scripture for y'all. Choose their delusion. Right? Because I know when I first started waking up to the Bible, I used to have a really bad weed smoking addiction. I didn't even think I was addicted until I started taking stock of what I was doing when I was running low. And I was picking around my sink, looking for crumbs. Yeah, and see, and he literally said that's addiction. But it didn't occur to me until I was out of it. I was like, yo, I was literally addicted to marijuana. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, you're going off on people, you're short with them. You know what I'm saying? Because you're going through withdrawals. But a lot of times we think, well, I don't have to shoot it into my arm, so it's different. No, it's exactly the same. Same thing for people who are addicted to hoes. If they can't get a woman in a week, you know, they're going off on people. You know, they're getting desperate. You know,
Watching pornography.
porn all the time. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times, the Most High God has chosen a delusion for each and every one of us that we have to overcome. This is 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 and verse 11. And for this cause, God shall send them strong delusion that they should believe a lie. So the Most High God chooses your delusions. And there's an example of that in a council that the Most High God held with his angels to have King Ahab go kill himself in the Lord. Have you heard that before?
I've heard. I don't know the whole story, but
I'm gonna go ahead and get it. I know it's in Chronicles, but it's in Kings as well. I think it's 2 Kings 24. Let me grab that real quick. Because when I tell you that the Most High God chooses your delusions, I want to show you a functioning example of the Most High God literally asking his angels, hey, so what do y'all think? Who's going to go get this guy to go die in a war? The Most High God knows how to do it, but he wants to see what his creation's got. Because if you made a car to go 300 miles an hour, it doesn't matter if you could fly 1,000 miles an hour. You want to see what your car can do. You know what I'm saying? Let me get this real quick. Forget where this is at, bro. You know what? We just gonna get it here. But this is 1 Kings, chapter 22, verse 20. And the Lord said, who shall persuade Ahab that he may go up and fall at Ramoth Gilead? And one said on this manner, and another said on that manner. So these are angels, right? As a matter of fact, I'm going to go up a verse, so it'll give you the context of that. This is 1 Kings 22, and you know what? Verse 19. And he said, hear thou therefore the word of the Lord. I saw the Lord sitting on his throne, and all the host of heaven standing by him, on his right hand and on his left. So the Most High God is holding a council. He's got his right hand angels, which are for good, and his left hand angels, which are for evil. Now you notice they're all in the same room. So for those who say the devil doesn't answer to God, nope, God is just like a prosecutor in the court. Just like your defense attorney, the prosecutor works for the court. So does the judge, and so does the every lawyer that's in there. You know what I'm saying? Whether they're for the plaintiff or the defendant. Everybody works for the court. Same with the angels of the Lord. We call left-hand angels demons, right? But they still are subject to the higher power, which is God. Right? Verse 20. And the Lord said, who shall persuade Ahab that he may go up and fall at Ramoth Gilead? And one said on this man, and another said on that man. And there came forth a spirit and stood before the Lord and said, I will persuade him. So you've got all these multitude of angels. And one said, I got the answer. And God said, what you got? Right? And the Lord said unto him, wherewith? I told you, God is very candid with his angels. And he goes, hey, so you say you got the answer? What you got? Lay it on. Right? And he said, I will go forth, and I will be a lying spirit in the mouth of all his prophets. Now keep in mind, this is a demon who's going to be a lying spirit in the mouth of this king's prophets. And this king is asking his prophets, hey, when I go to this war, am I going to come out victorious? So if all his prophets get a false green light, what does that mean? He's going to go and die in the war. That's what that means, right? And he said, thou shalt persuade him and prevail also. Go forth and do so. So let me get this straight. God just sanctioned an angel or a demon to go do evil.
This is definitely a dark angel. He's doing evil.
Yeah, he's going to be a lying spirit. So he's going to do something wicked, right? So I have a question. Does God create evil?
Yep. It's in Job.
It's in Job and it's in Isaiah.
Yeah, God is a creator of good and evil.
Get the one in Job. Go ahead and pull it. Yeah, go ahead and get it. Right?
Yeah, I remember Job.
So this is Isaiah 45 and 7. I form the light and create darkness. I make peace and create evil. I, the Lord, do all these things. So whatever addiction that you're wrestling, just know it's not too heavy for you. You know why? Because God made it just for you. And what might crush another man is just enough for you. Because this is a trial by fire. That's what this is. That's why one of the things that blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians, we don't do enough. We don't tell one another to fight. We don't exhort each other enough. We should be supporting one another, going, hey, brother, the battle's not over yet. Get up and fight. You haven't lost your family yet. Go fight for them. You know what I'm saying? Some men are fighting to see their kids. Some men are fighting for the control of their mind. Some are fighting for the sanctity of their body. Because you never know what situation you may be put in. There are brothers in prison right now fighting just to be left alone physically. And you know what I mean. But these are all things that we all must face in this wicked kingdom. And if God is with you, who can be against you? No one. That's why we tell our brothers, when we're aware of who we are and we wake up, to always fight and call upon your God. Call upon God for strength, and he will hear you. Right?
I can't find the verse, but I know he was disputing with Job, and he said, "Where were you when I created the stars and heavens, and I created this?"
You talking about the back
Yeah.
of Job.
Yeah, I don't know what verse it is.
I'll get it. I'll help you get it. But the one that I always go to in Job is just Job 1. Yeah, where you got literally Satan coming with the other angels. I'm going to read it to you too. And this is more so for my camera, because this is a huge dilemma and a point that's contested with the Bible. Everybody tries to say God doesn't do evil, not understanding God created everything. You know what I'm saying? This is Job 1:1. There was a man in the land of Uz, whose name was Job, and that man was perfect and upright, and one that feared God and eschewed evil. And there were born unto him 7 sons and 3 daughters. His substance also was 7,000 sheep, and 3,000 camels, and 500 yoke of oxen, and 500 she-asses, and a very great household, so that this man was the greatest of all the men of the East. So, just to set the stage, Job is a righteous man, perfect in the eyes of God, meaning he keeps all of God's laws. He has no cause for him to have any judgment to take away anything. Now, what this also tells anybody who's thinking, well, I'm doing everything right, why is everything going wrong? Because God does what he wants to do. You don't have to do something wrong for God to send something wicked your way. Sometimes God sends it to you just to see if you can handle it.
Just to test the spirit.
It's a test. And I've said this in my previous lessons. It's always a test. Even when everything seems to be going great, you're being tested. What are you going to do when you have money in your pocket? Yeah.
That test, yeah. I failed
Yeah.
that test.
But here's the thing, don't willingly fail it.
Hey, you have an issue on it? Please.
La cámara. La cámara.
Feel it?
But
That was it.
so we see here that Job is a perfect man, right? Verse 6. Now there was a day when the sons of God came to present themselves before the Lord, and Satan came also among them. So you have the angels coming to present themselves to God, and Satan is among them. Now, if Satan were kicked out of heaven with 1/3 of the angels, why is he allowed to just come back into heaven and talk with God face to face? That tells you he was never kicked out, right? Verse 7, and the Lord said unto Satan, whence comest thou? Then Satan answered the Lord and said, from going to and fro in the earth, and from walking up and down in it. So God said, hey, where you been at? And Satan answered, doing what you told me to do. Now, I thought he rebelled. If Satan was rebellious, he would have said, that's none of your business. But no, Satan said, hey, God, I'm going to and fro in the earth, just like you told me to. Because Satan actually means opponent or opposition. So he's the accuser. So if his job is to accuse you, doesn't he have to get up close and personal with those who he would accuse? Yes. That means a lot of travel time, going to and fro in the earth.
A lot of studying and watching, monitoring spirits.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, the Bible says the devils and demons, they know Christ and they know the laws as well.
Yeah, they know the word.
And they tremble.
And they tremble. Yeah, they know the word too.
They know God and they tremble as well. That's why you going, the power of Christ compels you. That ain't gonna do shit. You will be surprised how many people think all I gotta do is grab this cross and say in Jesus' name, and it's all gonna vanish.
But if you believe, though, in Jesus' name, all things,
Well, here's the thing. If you believe, what are you gonna do?
you're going to follow the commandments.
You're gonna keep the commandments. That's the kicker. If you believe, there will be action. Because faith without works is what?
Dead.
It's dead.
It's dead.
So if you got faith, you're going to put the works behind it, like James told you to. Right? That's James 5. Right? So, to say you believe in Christ, you got to put the work behind it. That's why you brought it up early. You know, why call ye me Lord, Lord, and do not the things which I say? If ye love me, keep my commandments. These are the words of Christ. So if you call yourself calling upon Christ, or Yahweh Shai, his real name, then guess what you better be doing when you call upon him? You better be keeping some commandments. Because can you imagine if your kids were like, hey, Dad, I'm hungry. Give me some McDonald's. And you got a bag of McDonald's, you open the door, and your kid is just breaking furniture, breaking all types of stuff in your house. The last thing in your mind is going to be giving him a snack that he wants. Because you've got chastisement to deliver. You've got to correct your child. You can't reward that behavior. It's the same thing with us. Because the scourges or the afflictions that we endure, they're sent for correction. You know what I'm saying? They're supposed to guide us into being better people, becoming better Israelites. Right? But, and the Lord said unto Satan, whence comest thou? Then Satan answered the Lord, and said, from going to and fro in the earth, and from walking up and down in it. And the Lord said unto Satan, hast thou considered my servant Job, that there is none like him in the earth, a perfect and upright man, one that feareth God and escheweth evil. So, God even brought up, he was like, hey, have you seen my servant? Job, he's perfect. Look at him. That would be like me having a brand new truck in that parking lot going, hey, have you seen my truck? It's got 4-wheel drive. You know, it's raised off the ground 30 inches. I'm proud of it. I'm showing it off. And then somebody goes, well, you only got that truck because you won a raffle or a lotto.
Or your inheritance was passed down to you.
They're trying to downplay the functionality of my truck. You know what I'm saying?
That's where the accuser comes in to test it.
And that's exactly what Satan did, because that's his job, right? Then Satan answered the Lord and said, doth Job fear God for naught? Hast not thou made a hedge about him, and about his house, and about all that he hath on every side? Thou hast blessed the work of his hands, and his substance is increased in the land. But put forth thine hand now, and touch all that he hath, and he will curse thee to thy face. So Satan literally said, well, shit, you gave Job everything he could wish for. So why would Job be anything other than perfect? You're doing everything right for him, so why doesn't he do everything right for you? So Satan put forth a proposition. You curse Job, you take away everything that he has, he'll curse you to your face. Now let's see what God says. Does God say, that's not true? You know, because a lot of times a Christian will go, nuh-uh, and that's their whole argument. Just nuh-uh. They don't go to the Bible, they don't say anything scriptural. They just deny it. Let's see what God does. And the Lord said unto Satan, behold, all that he hath is in thy power, only upon himself put not forth thine hand. So Satan went forth from the presence of the Lord. So God gave Satan permission to take everything from Job, even his health. The only thing he couldn't take was his life. And if you read the account of Job, Satan delivered on that. He took everything, including his health. Job was covered in boils.
Dogs would lick his swords.
Yeah, dogs were coming to lick his sores and comfort him. He was so lowly. Now, you remember the parable of the rich man and the poor man? Lazarus. When you look at Lazarus, he was basically in the lowest state that Job was put into. But Lazarus was to represent all of Israel. And the rich man was to represent all of the heathen who are over us for a time. Because remember, part of the parable is there's a rift between Lazarus and the rich man. And the rich man can't go to Lazarus, and Lazarus can't go to the rich man. But eventually they're going to switch places.
The last shall be first, and the first shall be last.
That's right.
Well,
and that's exactly what we're counting on. But the reason why I brought this out with Satan is to show you, brother, what you're dealing with, God ordained that. So if God is giving you clarity, God ordained that too. There's always a time where the Most High God comes to let you out of prison, so to speak.
Bondage.
You know what I'm saying? He's not angry with you forever. As a matter of fact, we're going to get that in Lamentations. Right? This is Lamentations chapter 5 and verse 20. Wherefore dost thou forget us forever, and forsake us so long time? Turn thou us unto thee, O Lord, and we shall be turned. Renew our days as of old. But thou hast utterly rejected us. Thou art very wroth against us. So we were beseeching the Most High God to turn us back to repent, so that the Most High God would turn back unto us. Because we understand that the Most High God doesn't keep anger forever. Right? Although, here in Babylon or America, whatever you want to call it,
Babylon.
right?
I call it
Daughter
Babylon.
of Babylon,
Yeah,
right? But it's been 500 years, right? 500 years being under the heel of our enemies. But we see that it's now turning around because we see America falling apart, right? Now when you go into the grocery store, almost everybody can barely afford food. Next time you go in, I know it sucks to like look over somebody's shoulder, see how they're paying for stuff, but look,
TBT most of the time.
every time EBT and credit card. Very few times do you see debit cards now. You special, brother. You a king running on the earth, right? Shit, that brother got some wind with him too. I see him running all the time. I don't never see him take a break either. Shit, man, should be running. But you know, everybody's struggling. You know, everybody's living check to check, and most people are already dipping into their credit. What's gonna happen when everybody basically has no credit? When these banks all of a sudden fail? Because they're saying all the banks are on the cusp of failure.
There'll be civil war.
Yep, sedition among men. As a matter of fact, we're gonna read some of that because that was part of my lesson today. All right?
Yeah, that's definitely gonna be civil war. Fall out of America. That's a Babylon will fall in an hour.
Yeah.
1 hour. That's what we're gonna see happen.
Well, that fall of Babylon is gonna be because it's gonna be nuked. Right? That's gonna be the destruction of Babylon. That's what you're talking about. But the descent into hell, oh, that's gonna take a while. Right? As a matter of fact, we're gonna go into Jacob's trouble. How about that? So we're gonna go to Jeremiah 30, and then we're gonna go to Daniel 12. Right? This is Jeremiah, chapter 30 and verse 7. Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. For it shall come to pass in that day, saith the Lord of hosts, that I will break his yoke from off thy neck, and will burst thy bonds, and strangers shall no more serve themselves of him. But they shall serve the Lord their God and David their king, whom I will raise up unto them. Therefore fear thou not, O my servant Jacob, saith the Lord, neither be dismayed, O Israel, for lo, I will save thee from afar, and thy seed from the land of their captivity. And Jacob shall return, and shall be in rest, and be quiet, and none shall make him afraid. So the Most High God has promised, when it's as bad as it's ever going to get, when Jacob's trouble is at its absolute height, that's when we'll be delivered. Now, how bad is it going to get? Let's go to Daniel 12 and 1, and we're going to see how bad it's going to get. Right? And on the way there, I want to get Daniel 9 and 12, because I want to give context, right, for how bad it's been already. Right? This is Daniel, chapter 9 and verse 11. Yea, all Israel have transgressed thy law, even by departing, that they might not obey thy voice. Therefore the curse is poured upon us, and the oath that is written in the law of Moses, the servant of God, because we have sinned against him. So because we've transgressed God's laws, the curses have been poured upon us. Let's see how bad these curses have actually been so far. Because you got to remember, Jacob's trouble is going to be leagues harder than this. So let's see how bad these curses have been already. Verse 12, and he hath confirmed his words, which he spake against us, and against our judges that judged us, by bringing upon us a great evil. So he confirmed his words that were spoken unto us by Moses, and other judges like Joshua, Caleb, Ehud the Benjamite, right? Samson, he was a judge. Gideon, Jephthah, these are all judges in the Old Testament, right? But he confirmed his words by bringing upon us curses that necessitated judges to save us out of those conditions. Let's see how bad those conditions were. For under the whole heaven hath not been done, as hath been done unto Jerusalem. So upon us, it's been done worse than any other nation on the planet. I've showed you that book with the people hanging, right? Yeah. Nobody else has gone through that except for us. And that's the stuff that they took pictures of. Can you imagine the things that they were ashamed to show everybody? How badly they treated us? So for my camera, there's something that the white man invented called Judas Cradle. And what it is, it's basically like a wooden bench that's shaped like a triangle. And what they would do is they would sit you on top of the bench, and they would put chains and weights on your feet, and it would slowly pry you apart. That's just one of the tortures that they used to do to us. They used to put rocks on top of us until we died. It was called pressing. You would be pressed to death. They would put a board on top of you, and they would just start putting stones one by one until you died. So you would be crushed to death. The Iron Maiden, you know what that is, the coffin with the spikes in it. That was for you as well. These are all sorts of tortures that they did to our people. Now keep in mind, it's saying that for under the whole heaven hath not been done, as hath been done upon Jerusalem. So, the worst of the worst afflictions have befallen us. But let's go to Daniel 12:1 and see the times that are coming upon the earth. Because I mentioned something called Jacob's trouble, right? When I say Jacob's trouble is going to be horrendous, I can't even put words to how bad it's going to be. And the only people who are going to make it through it are those who return unto the Most High God and keep His laws, right? Because He's going to see to it that you are kept in those days, kept safe, kept fed, you have water, shelter, all those things. Because God knows you need those things. He knows it more than you do. Hence why He provides ways for you to get it, right? This is Daniel 12:1. And at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince, which standeth for the children of thy people. And there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was, since there was a nation, even to that same time. And at that time thy people shall be delivered, every one that shall be found written in the book. So, it's going to be a time like no other. A time so bad that Michael, the archangel, the angel that's under Christ, he has to stand up to defend us against our enemies out here. And in Revelations, it says literally Michael and his angels, or his messengers, are going to fight against the devil and his angels. Now, we know the devil to be a spiritual entity, right? But who are the devil's angels? Who does the devil's work?
Well, they're the third of the angels that got casted, that will get cast out.
No, there's no angels getting cast out of heaven.
Third of the stars, they got cast out, yeah.
No, that third of the stars, that was Israel.
That was Israel.
Because think about it. When Israel split, you had Judah, Benjamin, and Levi were left behind. Right? So you're talking about essentially that like the third or three stars, that was what was kept back. And then the rest of the stars were casted off.
I remember Joseph's dream that they were stars at one point.
Correct.
He was kneeling down. The stars were bowing down to the other stars.
As a matter of fact, there's a vision that Ezra has in 2nd Ezra, where a woman representing Israel has a crown of 12 stars. You see what I'm saying? So I understand why you believe, that third of the angels being casted out. But we just saw in the Bible the angels are in complete order.
Yeah, right.
And plus, why would the angels rebel later on?
Didn't that happen after the millennial reign?
After the millennial reign, that's when everything is good to go.
Well, there's going to be the second Armageddon, that last battle. The enemy's released after 1,000 years and to test the nations one more time, and then he finally gets it.
Now the thing is, that vision is not in chronological order, because that 1,000-year reign has already happened. That 1,000-year reign was in Europe when the black man was actually.
Oh, the Renaissance times?
Yeah. So yeah, I'm talking about the Byzantine.
The Moors,
Empire.
times of the Moors.
Well, not just the Moors. Do you know that book with me? Yes, I do. Hold on. Because it wasn't just the Moors. All of Europe used to be black. And I'm talking all the way till basically the border of the Caucasus Mountains. We ruled all the way to the east. The original czars of Russia, the original rulers in like Lithuania, Poland, all those places. People like Augustus the Strong. They were black men, right? So this is, and I always bring this out, those of y'all who watch my lessons, this is the one page I always bring out because it shows that Europe was ruled by black people. This is from the book called The Negro Question Part 4, The Missing Link by Lee Cummings, right? This is an excerpt from Professor Boyd Dawkins, professor of geology of Manchester University in London in 1879. This is a white man, by the way, right? The original people of Britain, France, Spain, and England were short black men, about 5 feet 6 inches in height. They were in England when our fathers, the white English, invaded the land in 449 AD. So he's literally admitting in 449 AD, his forefathers came out of the caves and they started pushing us west. And as they pushed us west, we were losing our foothold throughout Europe. You remember people like Ivan the Terrible?
Yeah.
What made him so terrible?
He would what did he put a spike through you?
You're talking about Vlad the Impaler.
Okay, that was Vlad the Impaler. They
But
cut
same difference.
They cut the heads off and posted on the wall.
On a pike.
Yeah, pike.
Now, whose heads were they putting on those pikes?
Most likely us.
Why would they do us? That's my leader. That's our people.
Was it the Edomites then?
Yes.
Okay.
As they came out of the caves, you got to remember, we were fighting these people. And I want to show you a painting that proves just that. It's called Moors versus the Wild Men. You've probably seen it before, but you know how they show you art and then they just go to the next painting real quick?
Yeah, real fast.
They do that a lot, right? Because one of the things that our people are never taught is, why did they call it the Dark Ages, right? Why are men like Ivan the Terrible, Vlad the Impaler, why are they reviled and revered at the same time? Because one of the things about blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians that you'll notice here in America, although your enemies might hate you, they still revere you, right? If you're a man of great strength, they will write your name down and they'll write a bunch of horrible things about you, but you'll always be on their lips. They'll always be talking about you, right? Here's the painting of the Moors versus the wild men. All right. Let me zoom in. I'll bring it to both of y'all. I got you. All right. So here you have the white people, and they've got a bunch of clubs and sticks and stones. You see that, right? Now they're charging at a castle. Black person. You see the crown? Right? So our people were ruling throughout Europe, and that's what was happening. Because the Most High was raising up our enemies to come against us. And as they were coming against us, we were infighting like we always do. Because what did the Moors lay claim to in terms of their God and religion? Islam.
It's not out there.
So you've got some of our people being for Islam, some of our people being part of the Catholic Church, and then some of our people being Jews. I'm going to prove that too. Right? This is another book. Oh, and while I read that, I want y'all to look through this book, and y'all can share it. But it just has a bunch of art in there, and it basically shows our people throughout Europe. And I got another book. It doesn't have as many pictures.
There's Ephraim, the heifer. That's my people. It's the heifer. That's funny that you opened this right to that page because they just got the red heifer and the Zion Israel.
Yeah,
They're
well,
trying
see,
to do the sacrifices.
they're trying to say that that's going to herald in the Messiah,
Yeah,
in the
man.
third temple and all that.
Antichrist, that's what it is.
But that's not in the Torah. They made that up. Yeah, this one don't have as many pictures, but if you want to give it a read, you can. And then y'all can trade off. But I want to show that once upon a time, it was very well known that our people were the Spaniards. We were the Jews of Spain. This is a book called The Secret Services of John Mackey, Esquire, during the reign of King William, Queen Anne, and King George I. He was a spy in the court of the king. And what he was doing was he was taking basically notes on every person in that court. And he was basically writing profiles on each person. And he wrote a profile about a very particular man called Daniel, Earl of Nottingham, right? He hath also the exterior air of business and application enough to make him very capable, and his habit and manners very formal. A tall, thin, black man, like a Spaniard or a Jew, about 50 years old. So it said that he was a tall, thin man, like and very black, like a Spaniard or a Jew. So once upon a time, they knew that the Jews were black. And they also knew that the Spaniards were black. Now, what's a very particular group of so-called Jews today that say they're from Spain? Sephardic Jews.
Sephardic, right?
And they're white people. So I have a question. If Spain was once upon a time full of black people who were Jews, how did they become the Jews? Who are these people saying that they're Jews and are not?
Oh, okay, the synagogue of Satan. In
There you
Revelation.
go. You
Revelation.
got it, brother. There you go.
Yeah, it's the Revelations.
But we gonna read that because I want to make sure the camera got it, right?
Yeah.
That's Revelations 2 and 9. Man, my Revelations is beat up. So I brought my new Bible out here. We're going to go ahead and crack this bad boy open. Because, man, my other Bible, man, it's falling apart. This is Revelations, chapter 2 and verse 9. I know thy works, and tribulation, and poverty, but thou art rich. And I know the blasphemy which say are of them which say they are Jews, and are not, but are of the synagogue of Satan. So you have people claiming to be Jews and are not. Now I have a question, right? Does the Bible describe the likeness of the real Jews by color? Yes, it does. Did you know the real Jews in the Bible are called niggers? Did you know that?
In Song of Solomon, he talks about I'm dark and lovely.
That's I think it's Song of Solomon 1 and 6.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, and it's one of the daughters
Yeah.
saying, I am black, but
Yep.
comely,
Yeah.
O ye daughters of Jerusalem.
Yeah.
You know, basically she was dark because she was made to tend to the fields, to the vineyard. And if you are brown complected and you're out in the sun all the time, what happens? You get dark. So she was a dark-skinned sister. But she said, I'm black, but I'm beautiful.
Yeah.
See all these sayings that we say today? They're in the Bible. Did you know the Bible says the real Jews had teeth with jewels and gold in it? So when you see blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians trying to get those gold and silver fronts,
Yeah.
did you know that's in the Bible?
Yeah.
I'm going to show you after I get this out of Acts 13 and 1. See, these are the things I like bringing out because it makes your God that much more real to you. When you realize your God literally is like you because he made you to be like him. I have a question. If you had a son and your son was nothing like you, wouldn't you be scratching your head like, is this really my son? Yeah, you'd be like, damn, he don't do nothing like me. He don't look like me. He don't like me. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're completely different. But the thing is, God made us exactly like him to the point where we're just as stubborn. Because, how you doing, sister? If you're Native Hispanic, just know you're special. You're an Israelite, right? Gotta let our people know, because ain't nobody else gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you. These white devils ain't gonna tell you at all. They gonna call you a nigger or a beaner and keep it moving. You know what I'm saying? But this is Acts, chapter 13 and verse 1. Now there were in the church that was at Antioch certain prophets and teachers, as Barnabas and Simeon, that was called nigger. Now it's spelled N-I-G-E-R.
Say Niger.
They say Niger, but I want to go to something called a concordance.
I've never seen nobody called Niger. Never.
Yeah.
Not even Nigerians are called Nigerians.
Well, here's the thing. Even if you call it Niger, it doesn't change what it means.
Still saying.
It means black. As a matter of fact, can you look that up in the NLT for me and tell me what it says in place of Niger?
I got the Apocrypha and it has the King James.
Okay, I'll get it. Because I got it here.
Yeah, it's King James.
Yeah, I always I install a Blue Letter Bible. There we go. And then we gonna get it in the NLT because the Bible literally gives it away in the New Living Translation what it means. This is Acts 13 and 1 in the NLT. Among the prophets and teachers of the church at Antioch of Syria were Barnabas and Simeon, called the black man. So let me get this straight. You had two men called black men. But yet they're trying to tell you that the real Jews are white people now. How'd that happen? But see, when you look in Revelations 2 and 9, Christ lets you know that there are those who call themselves Jews and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan. Not to mention Christ acknowledged that we will be in a low state, our tribulation and our poverty. But he said we were rich anyway. Because y'all know this. Blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians, we don't need a lot of money to have a good time. If you got a grill, some good meat,
Beer.
and some music and some beer,
Yeah.
we could turn up.
For 3 days, 4 days. Hey.
You know what I'm saying? We could turn up.
Yep.
But the other nations can't do that. They be sitting there crying and shit, talking about how broke they are. But we find a way. You know, shit, if you live in the city, you cut that damn fire hydrant on, everybody get out in the water, start playing.
Take a shower.
You know what I'm saying? That's how we get down. We're a special people.
Peculiar people.
I'm sorry?
A peculiar people.
Yeah, peculiar people. There you go. You know what I'm saying? But here's the thing. Most of our people, they think everybody is like that. And that's not the case. We're the only people who are like this. I don't know what they got in the area, but that helicopter flies right
They
over the
got,
spot.
they do the hospital jobs.
Okay, cool,
Emergency.
cool.
There's a hospital down here.
I figured people were getting airlifted or something like that.
That's in the hospital.
But I want to show you, right?
Sad.
Because not only was the Jews called black men, but I'm going to show you even in the Old Testament, you had Job saying that he was black. That's in Job 30 and 30. Right?
My skin is black upon me and my bones are burned with heat.
You already got it. Now, again, this is Job admitting that he is a very dark man. Now, you've got people saying Job was an Edomite. Now, in the book of Job, I will give people credit. It does not expressly state what tribe he comes from. But the one thing you do know is how Job looks. And Job is a very dark man. Right? Now, what people will often do is they'll say, well, King David was described as ruddy.
I
But
just
what-
seen a picture of the ruddy people.
But the ruddy cow
They're
you
red.
just looked at.
The ruddy people are red. They're colored.
Yeah.
Dark skins.
Now go to Lamentations. Go to
Redbone.
Lamentations 4,
Yeah.
right?
Red bones.
Because one of the things that you can cut that with is how when it describes the nature of rubies, but it also says that they were white as milk, right? You have to understand when a metaphor is being used, right? Because also I believe it's in the Song of Solomon where it talks about my lover is white and dazzling. Or I'll get it in a second. But that word for white is actually dazzling. That's why. Yeah, that's why I had to mix it.
Sparkling like diamonds.
Yeah, yeah. It's I forget how it goes, but it calls him white, but it's describing his nature as dazzling because it then says that his locks are bushy. White people don't have bushy locks. The only people who have bushy locks are Negroes. You know what I'm saying? But let me get this real quick. This is Lamentations, chapter 4, and verse 7. Her Nazarites were purer than snow. They were whiter than milk. So if you stop right there, people will think, oh, so the Nazarites are God's people. We're white. But keep going, right? They were more ruddy than in body. So they were more ruddy in body than rubies. Their polishing was of sapphire. Now I have a question for you. What is a ruddy ruby? Have you ever seen one? I'm gonna show you. When
What
you
is it?
see what a ruddy ruby looks like,
They don't talk about their color being white. It says they're pure.
that's right.
And so they don't say
Their
they're-
visage.
Yeah.
Because in the very next verse, it says their visage was blacker than a coal.
Yeah.
So how could you go from being white or pale skin to having a visage blacker than coal?
Yeah. They're pure. Pure as the white snow. Or milk. Pure as the milk.
That was talking about their behavior. Because when we were in our right minds, we're described as being pure when we're keeping the laws of God. We are as white as snow or pure, without spot. You've heard that term, being without spot. But that doesn't mean how you look. That's why the distinction was made right after that, right? But I want to show you a ruddy ruby, right? Because I remember the first time I bought rubies to put in my my balcony garden that I have in my apartment. I just bury it in the soil that I have in my little containers. And I'm gonna tell you, the plants grow better when you plant little stones in the soil. I don't know what it is.
Right here, the ruddy people.
Yeah, he's got. Yeah, show that to him. Show that to him.
That's the ruddy people.
So that's
They
what
look like
ruddy
us.
people look like.
They look like us.
They look like us.
Dominicans,
Right.
Hispanics, Latinos.
But here's what ruddy rubies look like. Alright. Trying to find them unrefined. Unrefined. Oh my God, really? Undefined. Okay. Refined. There we go. Bam. Look at that color spectrum. You've got browns, you've got reds,
Purple, all kinds of
purples, all types of different gradients of red and brown. So that's what our likeness is as a people. And you know that to be true. If you go to a family reunion, you're going to have Mexican men and women who are very dark skinned, some who are very fair skinned. But we all come from the same blood. Same with our Puerto Rican brothers, same with our black brothers, right? I remember the first time I was a little kid, I saw a so-called red bone black person with freckles and red hair. It threw me for a loop because I didn't know our people had red hair. But we come in all shades and colors. That's why Israel is described as a speckled bird in the Bible. We come in all colors, all shapes and sizes. Some of us even have blue eyes, blonde hair. But that doesn't change where you come from on your father's side, right? This is Lamentations, chapter 4 and verse, we'll finish out 7 and 8. Verse 7, her Nazarites were purer than snow. They were whiter than milk. They were more ruddy in body than rubies. Their polishing was of sapphire. Their visage is blacker than a coal. They are not known in the streets. Their skin cleaveth to their bones. It is withered. It has become like a stick. Now, one of the things I was saying earlier in my lesson is that we're hard to kill. One of the reasons why we're hard to kill is even if you try to starve us out, our skin will start turning extremely black to make use of sunlight. See, our bodies do everything better than everyone else's, and that includes contingency for lack of food, right? So during famines, we would turn extremely dark, like a black stick. That's why it's important to understand who your people are and what we've been through. So when we're described in the Bible, you can go, that's us, that's me. Because I'm going to tell you, the heathen, they read this, and they're trying to put themselves in this book. And they don't fit, but they don't care. They're going to try to make themselves fit. It's up to you to take your heritage back, because they're not going to give it to you, right? Now, I know I've been doing a lot of talking. Do you have any questions about the Bible?
No, I'm just trying to
Soak it all in?
soak it all. Yeah, trying to take it
You
all
good?
in.
You good? You know what I'm saying?
Because I always miss. I come 1 or 2 weekends and I miss like 2 or 3 weekends. So it's like
Okay.
I'm trying to grasp the situation.
Well, while you're here, man, we're going to keep going on, all right? Now, before I move off of the likeness part, I do want to go to Song of Solomon, like I said I was going to. That's Wisdom of Solomon. That's Song of Solomon. All right. Now, I have a question, right? So, if breaking God's commandments put us in this lower state, what would put us in a better state?
Keeping the commandments. of course.
Keeping the commandments, right? And how many commandments are there?
There's 10 commandments, but they're summed up in 2 ways.
Okay.
As Jesus said.
Now, what if I told you there's 613
Yeah.
Those are the Mosaic laws.
Mosaic laws? Now, well, I have to ask then, where are these other commandments? Or what, when you say the 10 commandments, what differentiates them from the rest of the commandments? That's a better
The
question.
ones written on stone.
Okay.
The one Moses presented to they destroyed.
Now, that was on the second tablet of stone that had to be made in Exodus 34.
What's the difference between laws and commandments?
Same difference, just the terminology.
Okay.
So, so a law of God is a commandment from God. Thou shalt. So, like if God said, "Thou shalt not kill," "Thou shalt not steal," remember the Sabbath day and keep it holy. Those are all commandments of God where He said, "Do this," and so it's a commandment, right? Now, There it is. So I'm going to read it in this translation, and then I'm going to read it in another translation. So KJV, and I'm going to read another translation. Song of Solomon. This is Song of Solomon, 5 and 10. My beloved is white and ruddy, the chiefest among 10,000. His head is as the most fine gold. His locks are bushy and black as a raven. His eyes are as the eyes of a dove by the rivers of water, washed with milk and fitly set. So if you stop there, you would assume that this is just simply saying that this is a white man who's got red hair, rosy cheeks, but yet it describes his hair as being bushy and black, right? So some people try to say, King Solomon, you know what I'm saying? They try to say King Solomon was a white man with red hair. Then you got some people who say King Solomon was a white man with the so-called Jew curls that the Jewish people say they have over in Israel today, the black hair, that they say looks like an afro, but it doesn't, right? It's just curly hair, right? But let's read it in another translation, all right?
Look back. I'm gonna run off to.
You good? This is Song of Solomon, Song of Solomon, chapter 5 and 10, in the NLT. My lover is dark and dazzling. So you remember how it said that he was white and ruddy? In another translation, it says that he is dark and dazzling. Isn't that quite the contrast? Because one is saying he's dark, but the other one's saying he's white. Well, according to today's terminology, if you're called white, that means you're one of these white people walking around. That's why a lot of white people try to envision themselves as King Solomon. Now, understanding that that was describing his behavior, right? He was dazzling, right? Imagine you show up dressed in a suit with cufflinks on, you got a vest on, you got a nice undershirt with a paisley design, you got on some nice alligator skin boots with a Gucci belt on, and you smelling good, you know what I'm saying? You dazzling. Most women, even if they don't like how your body is built, they're going to like how you look. They're going to be like, damn, that brother looks sharp. You know what I'm saying? So you're going to be dazzling unto them. That's how King Solomon was. Right? Damn, this head is kicking up. But I just wanted to bring that out because one of the things you have to understand, Ernest, is that the people in this book, they went through the same things that you're going through today. Right? And in the same way, when you're going through all these things that put you at your lowest, people just look at you and they scoff. They did that to us back in the days as well. These other nations, they look narrowly upon us. And they go, these are God's chosen. These are the Israelites. Ugh. You know what I'm saying? But the reality is, that's not how God looks upon us. Right? We're going to go to Isaiah 14 and 1 through 2. Right? Because despite all that has been done, the Most High God still is choosing us. Right? This is Isaiah chapter 14 and verse 1. For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob, and will yet choose Israel, and set them in their own land. And the strangers shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob. And the people shall take them, and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord, for servants and handmaids, and they shall take them captives, whose captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors. So despite how these nations look at us and how they treat us, the Most High God still chose us. And in due time, he's going to set us over all these other nations. And we're going to rule over them, just as they ruled over us. Right? Now, this is another thing that I have to read while I'm in the neighborhood. Because now that America's fallen on hard times, now you see the white man asking everybody for help. He's asking everybody to join his military. He wants everybody to go get a job and start putting their money back in the economy. But nobody wants to help him. Let's see why that is. This is Isaiah 14 and verse 5. Actually, verse 4. That thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon and say, how hath the oppressor ceased? The golden city ceased. The Lord hath broken the staff of the wicked and the scepter of the rulers. So the Most High God, he's broken their rulership, right? Whereas America was once a mighty nation, now they're very weak. Now instead of commanding you to do something, they ask you to do it because they don't have the power to enforce their will anymore, right? He who smote the people in wrath with a continual stroke, he that ruled the nations in anger, is persecuted and none hindered. So now that the world is starting to see that America is really nothing to be afraid of, now that America needs help, nobody wants to help America. Everybody's looking at America like, hey man, I can't help you. I ain't got nothing for you. And we're seeing that now with Russia and all these other nations, because now they're trying to make war with America, right? Have you heard that they've instituted the draft? Yeah, from ages 18 to 29. So now, if you're between the age of 18 and 29 years of age, you can now be sent over to Ukraine to fight. Right? So that's one thing that we have to understand, right? This nation is now falling on hard times. And now that it's falling on hard times, ain't nobody coming to save this place. That's why we're telling our people to turn back to the Most High God while they have a chance, right? The whole earth is at rest and is quiet. They break forth into singing. So the whole earth is going to rejoice when America is finally thrown down, right? Because this is the nation that's spreading all the homosexuality, all the pedophilia, all the drugs in the earth, right? Because once upon a time, you know, problems with meth and all sorts of drugs, that was just here in America. That wasn't all over the earth. But now you got drug addicts all over the earth. Because wherever the white man from America goes, all of his wickedness goes with him. And that includes the drugs, right? But, how much time have we spent?
We got about 45 minutes.
Okay, yeah, 2 hours. Probably another 20 minutes. Yeah. Have you eaten today?
Earlier, I did not.
Did you? A full meal?
Partial, but I'm good.
I'll get you some. Alright, I'll get you some. You gotta make sure my brothers eat, man. Alright. Alright. Nah, I'm not gonna read that. Okay. I wanted to read it, but I'm not. What can I teach right now? As a matter of fact, let's go to Proverbs. And let's just get some wisdom out of it. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause that's one book that I don't read enough of, and that's Proverbs. Because when we say to turn to the Lord, and that it will be a boon or a token of good favor to your life, we're not kidding. You know what I'm saying? Because the Most High God, He dwells with those who dwell in wisdom, right? And I'm about to go to Wisdom of Solomon to grab just that. Where brother's going? He coming back? Yeah, he said he was coming back. He left us stuff. Oh. Oh, like. Oh, yeah, I get you. I understand, man. Like I said, man, these demons are on people, man. That's why I say you gotta fight it, bro. You gotta fight it, man.
Yeah, it's been hard, man. And, that's why I've been like, came over here.
Mhm.
Like, nope.
Yeah.
Like, nope. So,
I appreciate that, man.
And trust me.
Yeah, but here's the thing. That tells me that the Most High God is giving you strength to say no, to push away from it.
And I don't know if you saw me. I looked back.
Yeah, I saw it.
I looked back and I was like,
But here's the thing. Thank Yahweh for that. You know what I'm saying? And I'm saying, thank Him. You know, like say it when, you know, whenever you're in your private moment, face the east. And just say, in the name of Yahushua, Yahweh, I thank you. I thank you for delivering me from this demon. You know what I'm saying? But let's go to Wisdom of Solomon real quick. This is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 7 and verse 28. For God loveth none but him that dwelleth with wisdom. So for those of our people who make it a point to read the words and to keep the laws that are written therein, the Most High God is going to dwell with you, right? But if you're reading the Bible and you're not keeping the laws, the Most High God is going to keep you where you're at, because the Most High God is trying to have you change. You got to change, you got to evolve, you got to grow, so he can work with you and raise you out of your lowest state. You know what I'm saying? All right, so we're going to go back to Proverbs real quick. So, one of the things that I know when you're on hard times and things of that nature, it's hard to keep perspective sometimes. Why should I be righteous? You know what I'm saying? I've lost everything, or I don't have anything to be righteous for, right? But keep this in mind, right? This is Proverbs 19 and 1. Better is the poor that walketh in his integrity than he that is perverse in his lips and is a fool. Also that the soul be without knowledge, it is not good. And he that hasteneth with his feet sinneth. So even if you're in a lower state, if you're making haste to get out of your position, you're going to commit more sins, more abominations. You know what I'm saying? That's why it's better to hold to your integrity and keep the commandments. You know what I'm saying? Because if the Most High God is working with you so that you have the commandments on your heart or in your mind, right? Make sure you keep them. Because the Most High God is imparting that wisdom to you for a reason. To see if you will, in fact, keep the commandments. See if you will, in fact, follow after what he told you to do. Because if you're constantly keeping or breaking God's commandments, what should God do with you?
Chastise.
He should chastise you, right? And I'm gonna tell both you brothers.
The wages of sin is death.
Well, that as well. But I want to see both you brothers off the streets. But here's the thing: the way to get there, it's gonna be keeping God's commandments. You know what I'm saying? Doing your best. And start small. You know what I'm saying? I understand that you might be in a lower state, but give up pork. You know what I'm saying? If somebody's handing out something and you've got PB&J versus a ham sandwich, take the PB&J.
I had the ham earlier. I didn't want to, but tossed it out.
Yeah, but here's the thing. You think God don't see that? God sees that. And guess what he does? He goes, oh shit, look at my boy Ernest. He making strides. I want to read this to you in Leviticus 26. Because when you turn back to God, he turns back to you. You know that parable about, how Christ carried you on the beach, the footprints.
I love that thing. I love that parable.
I love it, but here's the thing. It doesn't even make sense. Because the whole thing is, you were supposed to walk when it was hard for you. You're not supposed to be carried through life. That's why the Most High God will give you the strength to persevere, not to be carried. Now, there are times in your life where you do need to be carried. I ain't gonna lie to you, right? Because, like I said, I've told this brother, I've been jumped out here by multiple people.
Yeah, they'll do that, man. It becomes physical.
And I had to have the Most High God help me. And guess who won that fight? I did. Because the Most High God gave me strength to fight off my enemies. You know what I'm saying?
All nations compass me about, but in the name of the Lord, I will destroy them.
There you go. King David. You know what I'm saying? But if King David were breaking God's laws, you
Which he
think
did.
that would have happened?
He did it. He went crazy. He went to the caves and he lost a lot of his. He lost his kingdom for a second. He did.
King David.
Was David. Before Bathsheba, with his son Absalom and all that. When Absalom was chasing him and hunting him down. I'm thinking of Saul.
Yeah, I'm about to say,
Saul,
yeah.
I'm thinking of Saul.
Oh, the lighthouse? Yeah. But, well, hold on. So I'm going to show you in Leviticus, right? And if you need a parallel to Deuteronomy 28, Leviticus 26 has all the curses in it, right? But this is Leviticus, chapter 26 and verse 40. If they shall confess their iniquity, or the iniquity of their fathers, with their trespass, which they trespassed against me, that they also have walked contrary unto me, and that I also have walked contrary unto them, and have brought them into the land of their enemies. If then their uncircumcised hearts be humble, and they then accept of their punishment of their iniquity, then will I remember my covenant with Jacob, and also my covenant with Isaac, and also my covenant with Abraham will I remember, and I will remember the land. So the Most High God is saying, hey, look, if you'll just say, you know what, I fucked up. I sinned. Just as my forefathers have sinned, I've sinned too. I admit my faults, and I throw myself on the mercy of the court, and I'm going to do my best to do better. The Most High God, he goes, okay, so what are we working with now? Where you at now? Now I'm going to work with you. I'm not going to just take you out of where you're at, because I'm still working on you, I'm still correcting you. But now I'm with you. Now my face isn't away from you. Now I'm looking at you. I'm making sure the things you can't handle, they stay away from you. I always say this to my camera, right? Because when I first came into, being an Israelite, knowing who I am, one of the things that I tripped out on hard was trying to give up smoking weed. And the first week I came into the truth and I said, I'm not going to smoke anymore. Guess who called my phone? My dealer. Hey, I got a deal. You know what I'm saying? Like literally, you can come get a full ounce for about 100. Yeah, and you say that's not bad. Yeah, it's not bad. You know what I'm saying? But here's the thing. If you're going to smoke it, you can't go get that. Now, what if you're going to make an edible out of it? That's a whole nother argument.
I'd probably flip it though, honestly.
Well, but here's the thing. What if you know the people you flip it to going to smoke it? You can't do that. You know what I'm saying? But here's the thing. You can make edibles out of it because it's a natural plant. But here's the thing. You shouldn't smoke it. And I had that smoking demon on me. So I had to go, nah, man, I can't do that. All my girls that I used to deal with, now all of a sudden, super fat, fat ass girls trying to throw the cheeks at me. And I got to go, nah, I can't do that. I always say this when I'm preaching. I had the biggest booty Puerto Rican girl. Oh, man, I wanted it so bad. Bro, I wanted it so bad. But guess what? I couldn't do that. Because you can't make whores out of the daughters of Zion. You can't do that. Sex is marriage. If you just hitting it and quitting it, you making whores out of women, and they're committing adultery. And that falls on you. Every time they commit adultery, it falls on you. Because you're their husband. You know what I'm saying? That's why when you have sex with a woman the first time, what happens? There's blood. That's a covenant. It's a blood covenant. See, a lot of us, we don't think like that. Because how many of us have had a virgin in this kingdom? I haven't. You see what I'm saying? But once upon a time, every woman that you would have dealt with would have been a virgin. And it would have been a death sentence on you to just pop her and leave. Her people will come after you and kill you. That's why you've heard of shotgun waves, right? The daddy standing there with the shotgun, and the nigga just standing there going, shit, I'm here. You know what I'm saying? Because he ain't got no choice. But that was the standard. You couldn't just leave. And if you slept with a woman before, you basically presented the dowry and arranged the marriage. You had to pay the family for humbling her. And you had to take that woman as wife. See what I'm saying? So here in this kingdom, you can't just move the way you want to move. How you doing, brother?
Good. How you doing, man?
You got time for the Bible?
I would love to, but we be on a family trip vacation right now.
Okay. But before you go, do you know who you are in the Bible? What tribe you go back to?
No.
Are you a so-called black man?
Oh, yeah.
You go back to the tribe of Judah.
Okay.
Okay? Are you a native Hispanic, man? Mexican?
Yep.
You go back to the tribe of Issachar. Issachar means he is higher.
It does.
Yeah, so the hardest working people in existence are the Mexicans. Y'all are Israelites. You from the tribe of Judah, the king tribe.
Oh, I know.
The same
I know
tribe
that.
Christ came out of.
That's right.
Okay, so keep the commandments. Do you know that?
Kinda, but not really right now. Like,
Okay,
kinda.
okay. Well, I'm just saying,
I appreciate you.
but that's our whole duty, according to the Bible, is to keep the commandments. All right, brother?
I appreciate you.
All right, man.
All right, man.
Y'all kings and princesses walking the earth. All praises. All right?
2 tribes right there. 2 tribes blended in right there.
Yeah. You know, but here's the thing, man. We trying to build this temple back up brick by brick. And we sprinkle seeds here and there. You know, because it might not seem like he has time right now. That's cool. But I'm out here every Saturday.
You dropped the seed though.
Yeah. And if he walks back by, he gonna be like, yo, you that brother I talked to 3-4 weeks ago. That brother you saw earlier.
Oh yeah.
You know, brother Mario.
Mario.
He was like, yo, he saw me 2 months ago. And finally coming back. He didn't even say a word to me. I just remember because he was standing right there. He was looking with, like he was focused. You know what I'm saying? So it's one of them things where you might not be interested today, but the Most High God might guide your feet back here another day. And that's if he's merciful to you. Because he might not guide you back to a teacher. You know what I'm saying? That's why I keep saying to both of you, don't give up. Whatever demon that you have on your back, make sure you fight it. And I'm going to give you the secret weapon to fighting some of these demons. Right? Because a lot of times, we have to go through all these different afflictions. Right? And we forget that we have a secret weapon when it comes to fighting addictions of all sorts, especially addictions of the body. Right? Have you ever went on a fast before?
Yeah, I passed it.
Have you? Fast?
Through force or through?
Well, yeah, I understand if it's forced, but you know, I'm talking about like.
No, willingly, no.
Okay, so let me read this to you real quick.
Those demons are delivered with prayer and fasting.
I'm sorry.
Those demons are delivered by prayer and fasting, right?
That's right, according to Christ.
Yeah.
Right? I always forget where it's at, man. Prayer. Fast. Ah, damn, it's always in Matthew, man. I always go to Luke looking for it. It's never in Luke. Alright, anyway. This brain ain't working the way it used to, man. I miss the days when I was young. You know what I'm saying? My mind was like a bear trap. Now I'm just like old and shit, don't work.
How old are you, man?
Huh?
How old are you?
How would I look?
35 maybe?
I look 35?
Yeah.
Damn, I look old, man. I'm 39.
Yeah. Look, a couple years on me, 2 years on me.
I don't look 35, man. Don't say that.
Nah, you look in good shape, bro. You look
Yeah.
young. You look young.
I appreciate it, man. But, and actually, I want to get the whole thing. Because, in this case, Yahushua had to cleanse a demon out of a boy who was throwing himself into water, into fire. Now, you would think that he would have died a long time ago. But here's the thing. You know, when you've got these afflictions on you, the Most High God doesn't always put those afflictions on you to kill you. A lot of times, it's so that when you finally overcome it, you can give glory to the Most High God properly. Because you understand how low you were, and then being saved and delivered from that affliction, right? And in this case, it was not only to give glory to the Most High God, but also glory to his Son, that they might know that he was truly the Messiah. But this is Matthew 17 and 14. And when they were come to the multitude, there came a certain man, kneeling down to him and saying, Lord, have mercy on my son, for he is a lunatic and sore vexed. For oftentimes he falleth into the fire, and often into the water. And I brought him to thy disciples, and they could not cure him. Now think about the faith this man had to have. He brought his son to all the disciples, and the disciples couldn't do anything for him. Normally, what do blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians do if they face any sort of failure? They give up, and they go do something different entirely. But this man said, fuck that, I know you're the Christ. I know you got the answer, right? Verse 17, then Jesus answered and said, O faithless and perverse generation, how long shall I be with you? How long shall I suffer you? Bring him hither to me. So Yahushua said, man, y'all know better than this. You know, if you had faith the size of a mustard seed, you could tell a mountain to move and it would move. So why are you faithless in the face of this left-hand spirit when I've given you power over diseases, unclean spirits? Remember, Yahushua gave them power over those things and dispersed them, remember? So how is it that they couldn't do anything for this one spirit? It was the same reason when Peter walked on water, he started to sink down into the water. His faith wavered. So don't look at how things look. You have to see spiritually. God has given us power to do anything in his name, if it be in his will. If it's in his will that you overcome your adversity, brother, you will overcome it. That's why I gave you the name of God in the name of his son. So you can call on the most high God in the name of his son, Yahushua. Right? Y'all got a moment for the Bible, a couple minutes? All right, man. Thank you. Sure thing. If y'all are native Hispanic, just know y'all special. Y'all are the people in the Bible. All right? Yep.
Son la gente de la Biblia, dice.
Que este no hablo muy bien inglés.
Nosotros somos los gente de la Biblia. Somos los judeos, verdaderamente. Yeah. Tú eres un rey, él dice.
Okay.
Sí, la tierra nos... Ajá. Reyes y las reinas, las mujeres. De la gente de nosotros. Dios bendiga, hermano.
Thank you.
Cuídate, hermano.
Thank you, brother.
Yeah.
See, I need a brother like you, man, speak Spanish. You know what I'm saying? But, verse 18, and Jesus rebuked the devil, and he departed out of him, and the child was cured from that very hour. Then came the disciples to Jesus apart, and said, why could we not cast him out? So, after Yahushua got done casting out that spirit, you know, the disciples came to him privately like, hey, man, so we did everything you told us to do. How come we couldn't do it? Right? And Yahushua said unto them, because of your unbelief. Remember I said, your faith. Right? If you have even the most smallest iota of unbelief, that could be your undoing. Right? Because a lack of faith grows, especially as you see any sort of failure, or if things aren't going as good as you think they should go. Now all of a sudden you're thinking, man, maybe it's not working. Maybe I'm not going to make it. That's why I told you, if you can only go 2-3 days, go 2 or 3. And then if you fall, don't fall. Get done falling and get back up. You know what I'm saying? And then go another 3-4 days. If you fall again, get back up, go 4 or 5 days. And eventually, you'll be strong enough where you don't fall anymore. You just walk. See what I'm saying? And Jesus said unto them, because of your unbelief, for verily I say unto you, if ye have faith as a grain of a mustard seed, ye shall say unto this mountain, remove hence to yonder place, and it shall remove, and nothing shall be impossible unto you. Howbeit. So, remember, he's saying it's because of your unbelief, but also keep this in mind, right? This kind goeth not out, but by prayer and fasting. So he said, hey, look, some of these demons, you got to tell people that you got to fast. You got to pray. You have to withhold your body from pleasure and gratification, right? So that means if you can, shutting yourself into a closet or a bedroom with your Bible, nothing to eat or drink, and fast. And pray to the Most High God that he have mercy on you and take that spirit off you, right? If you don't have a private area, just get yourself a little corner and pray to the Most High God facing the east. You ain't got to pray loudly. He can read your thoughts, let alone words that you whisper. And pray to the Most High God. God, I'm struggling. I need help. In the name of your son, Yahushua, I need help. You know what I'm saying? And trust me, it might not be drugs, but I got my own struggles too. I got to pray to the Most High God for help. We all got to pray to the Most High God for help. Because God is not a respecter of persons. And the only person he gave the spirit without measure to is his son, Yahushua. That's the only person who had the Holy Spirit without limit. Where if he needed to know something, it was available to him. If he needed faith and fortitude to resist something, it was available to him. But to us, we have to ask. And we have to ask in his name. Right? Now, I'm about to hang it up. Anybody have any questions or anything you want to go over?
Maybe the stuff of the end times.
End times?
Yeah.
What type of question about the end times you got?
Well, as far as our purposes here, we're supposed to keep the commandments, but we got to wake everybody up too and spread the message. But I don't know, how do we go about this, man? All these struggles and sufferings and stuff.
So I'm going to get two things, right? I'm going to get Isaiah 58 and 1. This is Isaiah 58 and 1. Cry aloud, spare not, lift up thy voice like a trumpet, and show my people their transgressions, and the house of Jacob their sins. So we are to do exactly what I'm doing here, right? You build yourself up in the Word of God, you have your sword with you, and you cry aloud and you spare not. And you just let our people know, blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians, and the scattered diaspora. Now, the reason why I say you need a teacher starting out is because it's not just blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians. Because some of our people are in other lands, and they're called different things. Not to mention, and I'm going to blow your mind, right? Some of the people look like the heathen, but they're not really the heathen. They go back to our people on their father's side, right? So check this out, right? How about Arnold Schwarzenegger? What is his last name?
Schwarzenegger.
Yeah.
It says nigger pretty much.
So you almost got it. Schwartz means black, and Negger means Negro. His last name is Black Negro. Remember how I said we were the original Austrians and Lithuanians, all those people? Europe was black? Where do you think those people who stayed in those lands went to? They had to assimilate.
Okay, so they went to Caucasus Mountains.
Well, no, they didn't go to the Caucasus Mountains because you got to remember the white man came to them. So say I have a white woman and I have a mixed child, right? And then my son gets with another white woman and has another child, and his son does likewise. Eventually, what are they going to look like? White people. But who do they go back to? To me. So what are they? Israelites. So somebody like Arnold Schwarzenegger, start thinking about it. He has charisma, does he not? Isn't he almost like 80, 90 years old? Still built like a brick house? That's not all steroids, because if it was all steroids, he would have been dead like 30 years ago. He's an Israelite. You know what he did before he became an actor? He was a bricklayer.
Okay, he was a mason.
He was a mason.
Yeah.
Now, who works in construction?
Eagles.
Yeah, Israelites. Because we work harder than anyone else. And we work smarter than anyone else. Now, I'm also going to give you some more history. Scotland. What does Scot mean in Gaelic? It means black. How about Dub? D-U-B-H. Means black. What's the capital of Ireland?
Dublin.
Dublin. What does that mean? Land of the blacks. Black land. Right? So it's important to understand that you have something called confusion of face. As a matter of fact, I'm going to prove it to you, right? We're going to go to the book of Hosea real quick. I know I said I was almost done, but it's like church, it's never done, right? I know as a little kid, you probably hated that. They were like, yeah, we're going to hang it up, but I got one more thing, but you're like, oh my God. Like, Nick, I'm trying to get home and watch the game, bro. But it's true, you know what I'm saying? Because for Ephraim, the book of Hosea says that Ephraim is a cake unturned.
Unturned, it's burnt. Burnt on one side.
And it's light on the other. Because he's mixed himself in among the people, right? This is Hosea 7 and 8. Ephraim, he hath mixed himself among the people. Ephraim is a cake not turned. So some Puerto Ricans, or some of our Northern Kingdom brothers, because Ephraim means all 10 tribes, right? Some of you look like straight up Negroes, and then some of y'all look like so-called white people. But here's the thing, you're still Ephraim. You're still Northern Kingdom. Because your fathers go back to the northern tribes. And it's the same with us. Some of us have now mixed ourselves in with the heathen. What's that basketball player's name? Blake Griffin?
I'm not sure.
Okay, well, his father is Haitian. As a matter of fact, I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you who he is. And I'm going to show you his son. When you see his son, he looks like somebody off of Brady Bunch. Right? But he goes back to us. Right? And into my camera. These simple things that seem like they don't matter, they're very important. Because there are some people who believe because they look like a white person that they can't be an Israelite. Meanwhile, they're walking around with last names like Blackamoor. Why do you think they're named Blackamoor? Because they go back to a Blackamoor, who are the Moors. You see what I'm saying? So some of us literally have names that tell us who we really are. But they don't know enough about history to trace their lineage back to figure that out. God bless you as well. Are y'all native Hispanic?
Yeah, we're from San Antonio.
Well, I mean Mexican? Well, what are you?
My mom was born in Mexico City, but I was born here.
Okay. Well, the reason why I ask is because in the Bible, the Mexicans are from the tribe of Issachar. Issachar in the Hebrew means he who is hired. Who are the hardest workers in existence? Mexicans, hands down. You know it. You know it. And in the Bible, it says Ephraim is prophesied to be a strong donkey crouching down between two birds. What's the unofficial animal for Mexico? The donkey. The burro. And where's Mexico at? Between America and South America being pulled in different directions. The two burdens. Y'all are Israelites. Blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians. They're the people of the book. God bless you as well. Y'all have a delightful night.
Thank you so much.
Of course. And I have to say it every time. If we weren't out here to tell our people, who would tell them? Because I'm going to tell you, the white man's not going to tell you. I'm going to tell you that right now. Because he's over in Israel pretending to be you. So why is he going to tell us that we're the real Israelites so he can go back to being a damn cave dweller? So you have to understand, if you wake up, he has to go home. And he don't want to do that. As a matter of fact, they have a principle that they live by that's called usurpation. Meaning, what you take, you keep, unless they can take it back from you. Have you ever seen that movie Chronicles of Riddick? Okay, you struck me as a gamer. Are you a gamer by chance?
A little bit, but.
A little bit, but okay. Well, anyway, in Chronicles of Riddick, they were facing an enemy where their whole creed was you keep what you kill. That's how the white man lives.
Yeah.
Think about it. How did he get America? He killed to get it.
Yeah, conquistadors.
Conquista. It's in the name.
Yeah.
They're the conquerors.
Conquerors, yeah.
It's in the name. So they keep what they kill. So how do you get it back from somebody who's a conqueror? You have to conquer them. And that's what the Messiah is coming to do. Now, you see how some of our people, when they get that news, they go, damn, I never thought of that. I'm going to show you why that is. Because that's in Isaiah as well. That's in Isaiah 1 and 3. Because most of our people have never stopped and thought, how did the white man, somebody who can't go outside in the sun for more than 30 minutes, how did he take down all of these different people at the same time? At the same time. Not different times in history. At the same time. 1492 is when Columbus first got over here. And from that time going forward, we all fell prey to the same enemy. All the way up until about 1619, when the Moors finally got kicked out of Europe. And they were race traders, by the way, because they were the ones coming over with Columbus, translating between him and the natives. Because the Puerto Ricans and our Mexican brothers, y'all were speaking a dialect of Taino, right? And y'all were speaking Nahuatl, right? Those are all dialects of Hebrew. That's why he was able to bring a Moor, which would have been my people from the tribe of Judah or Benjamin, who were race traders, thinking that we were going to share in the white man's power. He brought us over here to translate. And then what did he do? After we got done stabbing our own brothers in the back, who was it? The Stuarts and the Tudors. Those were the head, basically, royal lines in Europe, like King James and all them, the Stuarts and the Tudors, right? After we got done stabbing them in the back and they got kicked out of, Europe, then they finally kicked us out of Spain and Portugal, right? And they sent us to the west coast of Africa and then over to the colonies and slavery, right? But I'm going to show you, right? This is Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 23. Actually, Salaki, verse, I can't really see it there. Yeah, hold on. Yeah, the light, I don't like the light. So, hold on. Verse 25. The Lord shall cause thee to be smitten before thine enemies. Thou shalt go out one way against them, and flee 7 ways before them, and shall be removed into all the kingdoms of the earth. So, we were united at one point, and then we got scattered. Not only have we been scattered, but we've always had this problem. Have you ever heard of the term coon with black people? Y'all have a term for it too. You call it malinches. You remember the female who basically helped Cortez and all them basically take over the Mexicans and the Hispanics. She basically translated for them, and her last name was Maliche. I forget her first name. But
they say Mayate sometimes, right? Mayate.
well, I think that's for nigger though.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah. I'm talking about like a race trainer, like a coon. You know what I'm saying? But this is the term.
Oh, Uncle Tom. That would be.
Uncle, yeah, there you go.
That's Uncle
Yeah.
Tom.
But y'all have terms like that in Spanish too, for Hispanic people who love white people more than they love their own people, right? And you know what the sad part is? When you actually read Uncle Tom's Cabin, Uncle Tom wasn't the traitor. Sambo was. You see what I'm saying? But we also call people Sambos. So there you go. You know what I'm saying? But so it's going to be in 1 Maccabees chapter 1. Alright. We about to hang it up.
Nice and cold today. It's hot. All day hot. Always sweaty.
So,
I said it got cool. Finally got cool down.
yeah, it cooled down. I ain't gonna lie, man, it was like 110. Actually, no, it was about 107 in New Braunfels, and I drove over here. Yeah, but that wind has been going all day, so it's been Your feet hurting, brother?
Yeah, I got messed up my foot. I guess I've been walking back and forth all day and yesterday. So with that bag too, the heavy bag, that's my foot up.
Is it like an ulcer or sore?
No, I think I sprained it, my ankle.
Okay.
Yeah, I always have foot problems. They mess up, so I get sprained a lot. It's tough.
This is 1 Maccabees, chapter 1 and verse 11. In those days went there out of Israel wicked men, who persuaded many, saying, let us go and make a covenant with the heathen that are round about us. For since we departed from them, we have had much sorrow. So there's always been people amongst blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians who, because of their circumstances, they say, you know what, fuck it, I'm going to go make a covenant with the heathen. Fuck my brothers.
Go back to Egypt.
Yeah, let's go back to Egypt. Let's go with the Grecians. Now, did you know the people we like to copy the most are white people, and it's in the Bible? I'm gonna prove it, right? See, these are the things that the Bible describes. That's why when one of the people or types of people I have no patience for are coons. Those of our people who hate their own, right? And I got an oil for you, brother. I'm gonna leave it with you. Right? Put it on your ankle and on your foot. Right?
Like a CBD oil or?
No. It's I make oils that increase testosterone and help with healing. Yeah, there you go. You can check it out too. Check out the scent. Yeah, check out the scent. Smell it, because it doubles as a cologne.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I make those at home. Check it out. Yeah. Yeah, let them smell it real quick.
I think it's frankincense, right? You put
It's
frankincense?
got some in there, yeah.
Yeah, I just smell frankincense.
I gave you one, didn't I? No. Okay, let me see if I have another one in my bag. If not, I'll give you another one next Saturday. All right? I knew to bring 2 of them today, man. Something in the spirit told me to bring a bunch of them, but I didn't. Right?
You need some though? You got any pains?
If you got any aches or pains, man, put it on. Yeah.
Cool. I can feel it almost immediately. Wow. It's like menthol. You put menthol on it?
No. But I call that scent mafioso. But it's got like black seed oil in it, all types of stuff that lowers inflammation. Yeah, man. It's literally meant to restore your body, so keep you nice and strong.
Because I lost feeling. I lost feeling right here on this side. And I don't know why. And I think I don't feel nothing.
But you can still move.
It's still moving, but I don't know why I lost feeling.
Okay. When did that start?
About a month ago.
About a month? Okay. Oh.
I don't want to go to the hospital because, go to the doctor, but I'm just I don't do it.
Is it all the way down your arm?
Right here.
It's up.
Right here. It's only like maybe this finger, but kind of like
Yeah. Well, the muscles that form a fist, ones that do the outer two fingers, those muscles clench together. That's why you can't really clench your pinky or your ring finger individually. Yeah, they clench together.
Did you pray over it or something?
I can't. Oh, no,
No,
no, no,
did
no,
you?
not that.
No.
No. But here's the thing. You know, the Most High God can heal you. You know,
I felt better immediately as soon as I put it on there. I felt
well,
better.
be it to you according to your faith.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And
That's what I
anoint
was
your head with oil if you got faith.
That's
You know what I'm
what I
saying?
did.
James
I anointed
5.
my- yeah, I anointed
There you
my
go,
head,
man.
yeah.
Remember, I anointed your head with oil as well. Like, you got to have faith, man, that the Most High God is working with you. Right? But yeah, man. Hold on, let me find this real quick. I think yes. There it is. This is 2 Maccabees, chapter 4 and verse 15. Not setting by the honors of their fathers, but liking the glory of the Grecians best of all. So we didn't even love the ways of our forefathers more than we love the ways of the so-called white man, the Grecians. Because you have to think, during the times of Greece, they were having open orgies in the streets. They were having all types of abominable feasts and celebrations. And they were inviting us to celebrate with them. So imagine, you're going from a society where basically sex is marriage. You're not allowed to just have sex with anybody. And now you have to resist the temptation of women walking naked in the street. And imagine if you gave into that. Initially, it's like a paradise, or so it seems, until all of a sudden your dick hurts. Or all of a sudden, you got sores starting to break out. You don't know what's going on. See, everybody has fun till they get the clap. You see what I'm saying? And that's what's happening now, because they're saying a lot of these STDs cannot be cured or even treated. But that's when the Most High God hits you with the plagues. See, he'll let you take your amoxicillin to get rid of certain infections. And he'll let it work. But if you keep sinning, eventually he'll hit your ass with something that you can't fix. But our people like the ways of the Grecians best of all. Let's see what happened as a result of that. By reason whereof sore calamity came upon them, for they had them to be their enemies and avengers, whose custom they followed so earnestly, and unto whom they desired to be like in all things. So because we wanted to be just like the white man and be up under his ball sack, we suffered for it. Because if you're up under your enemy, you can't love your own God now, can you? As a matter of fact, in the first Maccabees, I believe it's the first chapter, it talks about how they started to outlaw us being Jews. We couldn't even keep our own commandments. You see what I'm saying? So those of us who were trying to get close to the Grecians, we had to desert and leave everything behind. But some of our people love it so, as it says here, liking the glory of the Grecians best of all. That's why when you remember who you are, you need to realize what it has cost you to come to this point of remembrance. How many people have died? How many of your children no longer know who they are as a result of us being the elders of our communities now? Not being in the position that we should have been in 10, 20 years ago to teach the young people. So knowing that we were derelict in our position or absent, we need to seek God even harder to make up for lost time. So just always remember, the Most High God had mercy on you. So try even more to do what the Most High God has commanded you to do and keep his commandments. All right? With that, that's going to be the lesson, y'all. I'm going to bring out one more scripture, and I'm going to search my bag. I think I got one more thing on oil. I think I do. Let me look. All right? This is Revelations 21 and verse 4. And God shall wipe away all tears from their eyes, and there shall be no more death, neither sorrow nor crying, neither shall there be any more pain, for the former things are passed away. And he that sat upon the throne said, Behold, I make all things new. And he said unto me, Write, for these words are true and faithful. And he said unto me, It is done. I am Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end. I will give unto him that is athirst of the fountain of the water of life freely. He that overcometh shall inherit all things, and I will be his God, and he shall be my son. Those are the words of Christ. When the kingdom of heaven comes, it's going to be on earth. And like he said here, he's going to make all things new. All things. Right? But with that said, call halal Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. That means all praises be unto Yahweh. In the name of his son Yahweh Shai. Kwam Yasharallah, or rise Israel. And Abad Babal, destruction to Babylon.
There
Right?
we go. Destroy Baal. Destroy the prophet.
All praises. All right. Shalom, y'all.